This young man was once a top-tier assassin on Earth, but in the end he was taken out by his own organization because he knew too many secrets. However, what awaited Lam Uyen was not death. He woke up once again, his heart pounding with tension. At that moment, he had no idea where he was. While he firmly believed he had perished in that plane explosion, as he sat up, Lam Uyen suddenly felt a sharp pain in his head. It was as if a flood of information was being forced into his brain. After absorbing all the memories of the original owner, Lam Uyen realized he had time traveled. Perhaps it was heaven's mercy. In his previous life, he was exploited by others, so he was given another chance to start over. The original owner of this body also had a fate, abandoned just like him. At that moment, Lam Uyen suddenly felt his body stiffen, unable to move. He saw the soul of the original owner hovering in front of him. If we are both abandoned, then let's leave this indifferent world together. He spoke as if to say, "Are you not going to seek revenge?" Lam Uyen countered, "Revenge, I've already died. And you are just a pitiful being occupying my body." It seemed the soul was utterly hopeless, but Lam Uyen was different. To him, being pitiful didn't mean being weak, so he was even less willing to give in to this world. His fate was in his own hands. He wanted to decide for himself, not leave it to fate. He had already been heartlessly discarded by others. How could he face death and live well? "Aren't you in pain?" the original owner asked, and Lam Uyen boldly replied, "He is in pain because I have never had a choice. But now I want to continue living based on my own will." His eyes were filled with determination, but the original owner still didn't believe he could change his fate. Because at that moment, Lam Uyen was stuck in his useless body. Perhaps he would soon meet the same fate as the original owner. But even so, Lam Uyen still wanted to give it a shot, even if starting from being useless didn't mean he had to be useless for life. From this rocky starting point, he wanted to prove to the world that his destiny was not in anyone else's hands. "What a weirdo," the original owner mumbled. "Then remember what you said. Get revenge for me. From now on, you are Lam Uyen." Unexpectedly, the two of them even shared the same name. After saying these final words, the original owner's soul vanished, and Lam Uyen was finally able to move. He was determined, not only to continue the unfinished life of his previous self, but he also had to take revenge for the brother who shared his name and allowed him to live on. However, at that time, Lam Uyen was completely at a loss. He didn't know how to become stronger. According to the standards of this world, a level E beast soul like him could only do menial jobs to barely survive, let alone climb to the peak of fame. Of course, if he truly couldn't make a living, Lam Uyen could revert to his old profession and become an underground assassin. But just as he was thinking this, something strange happened. It changed his entire new life. Lam Uyen heard a strange voice announcing, "The host has awakened the beast's soul. You have successfully bound with the monster system." After leveling up, a small black lizard appeared in front of Lam Uyen. It was still in its juvenile state, not fully grown, only about 0.1 meters tall, and weighing 1.2 kilograms at a low E rank. Its method of attack was to bite and scratch. A bunch of question marks appeared over Lam Uyen's head as he couldn't immediately figure out what this was. Even stranger was, the lizard could speak human language and greeted him first. "Hello, Lam Uyen. I'm Little Black Dragon. From now on, I'll accompany you and help you grow stronger step by step." "So you're the beast system for leveling up and evolution?" Lam Uyen asked back, feeling a bit dazed. This situation seemed oddly familiar. Could it be that he really was like those protagonists in time travel stories, getting a golden hand to guide him? "That's right. From now on, we're in this together. We need to trust each other. We have to live together well." The black lizard replied excitedly. Unexpectedly, Lam Uyen picked up his books and walked straight away, making it feel extremely insulted. It immediately called out after him, "Where are you going? Why aren't you curious? What can I help you with?" Lam Uyen wasn't uninterested. He just knew there would be plenty of opportunities to ask later. Besides, he had something more important to do first. The black lizard was very frustrated. Lam Uyen's nonchalant demeanor really made it feel like it didn't exist at all. At least pretend to be happy about having a system. The important thing Lam Uyen mentioned was finding To Mo Tuit. It was because of this girl that the original owner had lost his life, and the guy who had killed him was currently holding a large bouquet of roses, confidently expressing his feelings in front of To Mo Tuit. "What do you want?" Dai Tutu replied with a completely unmoved expression. Of course, I hope you can be by my side. Looking at the bouquet of roses and his mundane face, Mo Tweet responded with disdain, in your dreams. Do you think I would submit to your power? You know, Mo Tweet, you're a level S beast soul master, but you just awakened not long ago. You specially found a few level B guys to support you, and you're still afraid you can't have me. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. That brat from your class who always sticks around you has been dealt with by me. Hearing him say this, Mo Tweet's originally beautiful face changed. What did you do to Lam Yuyen? Is that important? The other party shamelessly replied, now it's just you and me. Besides agreeing to be with me, you have no other choice. Just then, a few level B beast soul masters following this young master suddenly saw a shadow rush past them. The speed of that person was so fast that they couldn't react in time, and by the time everyone looked clearly, the shadow was... Lam Yuyen had already grabbed the neck of that scoundrel from behind with one hand. That shadow is who Lam Yuyen had already tightened his grip around that bastard's neck from behind with one hand. He looked utterly shocked when he saw the person he had just beaten to near death now appearing here. Moreover, he didn't seem injured at all. In fact, he looked much stronger than before, so that's where he was. Lam Yuyen smiled like a messenger from hell, simultaneously tightening his grip on his opponent, choking him. Seeing this scene, the 4 Beast Soul Masters following that spoiled young man rushed in wanting to overpower him. But before they could even touch Lam Yuyen, he quickly pushed the guy in his grip forward. Then he gracefully jumped back to dodge the attack. Lam Yuyen's agility was incredible, honed from 15 years as an assassin in his past life. The spoiled young man was pushed hard by him. He had no chance to defend himself. He fell face first to the ground, furious, and immediately ordered the Beast's Soul Masters of Rank B to give Lam Yuyen a beating. The 4 of them replied in unison. Then combining with their beast souls, they transformed into the forms of 4 ferocious beasts. This was the moment when Beast Soul Masters merged with their beast souls. It created an effect that was no different from a monster appearing. Of course, Lam Yuyen could also merge with his beast soul, but his black lizard beast soul was too weak. Little Black Dragon said that. He must earn evolution points through devouring or level up rewards from battles to evolve the black lizard. Only then would merging truly make sense. But winning in battle doesn't necessarily have to be through beast soul merging, right? Lam Yuyen asked again, and this question made Little Black Dragon change color. You're not planning to use this ordinary human body to fight them. Are you? Are you crazy? They could crush you with just one move. Now that they've transformed into beasts, they could probably crush you even faster. However, in his past life, Lam Yuyen was the #1 assassin of the organization. Even though this time he accidentally crossed into a useless body, at least his combat experience remained. It was definitely worth a shot. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and stomp him down for me! The spoiled young man shouted. Immediately, all 4 Beast Soul Masters in this merged state charged aggressively toward Lam Yuyen. Normally, no one would think that a useless rank E Beast Soul Master like him could escape. And that spoiled young man was convinced that with just one blow, Lam Yuyen would be turned into a pile of minced meat. Before he could finish laughing, he saw that Lam Yuyen was still safe and sound. Moreover, he was powerfully subduing a beast soul master just using his own strength. Mo Tweet, standing aside, also witnessed the entire process. She couldn't even hide her expression when she saw Lam Yuyen take down a rank B beast soul master with his bare hands, something even a rank S beast soul master like her couldn't do. At that moment, Mo Tweet felt that Lam Yuyen was incredibly impressive. As for him, although the combat experience from his past life was still intact, Lam Yuyen couldn't deny that this body was still too weak to help him. He couldn't unleash all his power. After taking down the first Beast Soul Master, Little Black Dragon rewarded him with a new treasure chest. According to Little Black Dragon, inside the treasure chest, there could be equipment or evolution skill points, depending on Lam Yuyen's luck, to see what he could open. And Lam Yuyen's luck was indeed good, as he managed to open a random skill book on this first try. You can open the skill book randomly right on this first try. The random skill book, when activated, can help the host learn a skill ranging from level E to A. The chance of obtaining an A-level skill is only 1%, and it gradually increases for lower-level skills. Lam Yun didn't care much. He just hoped not to draw another E-level skill. But he didn't expect that this time. His luck would be so good that he directly learned a 1% A-level skill called White Heat. Its effect is that when in a combined beast spirit state, it can emit a white light at high temperatures, melting even steel. The maximum temperature can reach up to 10,000 degrees. How could he have such good luck? That's amazing. Should we buy another ticket? Little Black Dragon seemed extremely excited, but now wasn't the time to celebrate, because Lam Uyen had just taken down a B-level beast spirit master, and there were still 3 others, and that spoiled rich kid. He had just put a bounty on the remaining 3. Whoever could kill Lam Uyen would immediately receive a hot reward of 10 million. Upon hearing this number, the eyes of the 3 of them lit up. The power of money is indeed terrifying. Mo Tiet felt a bit worried and wanted to merge her beast spirit to help Lam Uyen, but he just shook his head, telling her to stay back a bit. Mo Tiet was one of the few people who treated the original host well, so Lam Uyen absolutely couldn't let her get hurt. Facing the fierce wave of attacks from 3 B-level beast spirit masters, Lam Uyen remained extremely calm. First, he used his exquisite fighting skills to dodge all the attacks. Then he took this opportunity, getting closer to the opponent. Finally, Lam Uyen successfully grabbed the guy with the elephant beast spirit and delivered a stunning punch, followed by a fatal kick. The fate of this guy clearly couldn't be any different from the previous one, and as a result, Lam Uyen succeeded again. He received another treasure as a trophy. This feeling of fighting was truly real. Even though this body was a bit weak, if they still thought Lam Uyen was someone easy to bully, they were sorely mistaken. This time, Lam Uyen didn't rush to open the treasure. Instead, he charged loudly toward the remaining 2 with a speed that left them gaping in shock. Not intending to give the opponent a chance to react, Lam Uyen grabbed the heads of the 2 and smashed them together. With that force, it was entirely possible for their skulls to crack. Overall, just after one move, Lam Uyen had taken down the last 2. Witnessing the whole scene, the spoiled rich kid who had been pursuing Mo Tiet was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. At this moment, he began to plead, "Big brother, I was wrong. I was wrong. Please let me go this time." Lam Uyen's eyes sparkled. He calmly replied, "Too late." This bastard was the one who caused the original host's death. He couldn't easily let him go. So after dealing with this leader, Lam Uyen picked up his bag and pulled Mo Tiet away from the scene. He's so strong, she thought to herself, then glanced at the spoiled rich kid who had been beaten to the point of being unrecognizable on the ground. He probably wouldn't dare to disturb her again in the future. Besides marveling at Lam Uyen's strength, Mo Tiet also felt a bit embarrassed because she, being a level SB Spirit Master, should have been the one to save him in times of trouble. But in the end, it was him who came to rescue her. Moreover, Mo Tiet never thought that Lam Uyen with an E-level beast spirit could be this strong. He won't dare to bother me anymore. While admiring Lam Uyen's strength, Mo Tiet also felt a bit embarrassed, because she, being a level S Soul Beastmaster, should have been the one to save him in times of trouble. But in the end, it was him who had to come to her rescue. Moreover, Mo Tiet never thought that Lam Uyen with an E-level Soul Beast could be this strong. While lost in thought, Mo Tiet didn't even realize she was staring at Lam Uyen until he spoke up. "Is there something on my face? Why do you keep looking at me like that?" At that moment, Mo Tiet felt flustered and looked away. Her cheeks turned as red as ripe tomatoes, and then she mumbled a thank you to Lam Uyen, also apologizing for dragging him into this. "It's fine, we're classmates. Helping each other is just natural." He replied firmly, which only made Mo Tiet feel a bit unhappy. "Just classmates, huh? I thought we were friends, though." She said it so softly that Lam Uyen couldn't hear clearly, but when he asked her to repeat, Mo Tiet didn't say anything more. She just said goodbye and left. Lam Uyen didn't understand why Mo Tiet had that fleeting look of disappointment. Only little Hak Long, who glanced over, immediately saw through it. "Kid, you've got quite the charm." It clicked his tongue and said, "What nonsense are you talking about? She's one of the few friends of the original host, and now I'm in this body. Of course I have to protect her well." After Mo Tiet left, Lam Uyen started discussing the system with little Hak Long. The tone and look in his eyes at that moment were quite intimidating, weren't they? No wonder you were a top assassin in your past life. It made little Hak Long break out in a sweat after returning home. The first thing Lam Yuan did was try to merge with his beast soul. As mentioned, his beast soul was just a level E black lizard which seemed utterly useless. Little Hak Long couldn't help but laugh at how Lam Yuan looked after merging, because in that form, he seemed only fit to be food in this world full of monsters. Lam Yuan couldn't help but feel disappointed. No wonder everyone said his beast soul was trash. After merging, it really did seem like trash, and now it was time for little Hak Long to show its worth. "Do you need me to guide you?" it asked teasingly. Lam Yuan anxiously exclaimed, "You can gain evolution points through devouring. These evolution points can enhance your strength, and the treasure you just received can also unlock those evolution points." "So how do I qualify as devouring?" Lam Yuan asked again. The answer he received was quite simple. It's about eating, or to be more precise, eating meat, because the essence of a beast soul is just like that of an animal. Therefore, Lam Yuan's urgent task now was to eat more meat, and importantly, he had to maintain his beast soul state while eating raw meat. Lam Yuan looked at the whole chicken in the fridge. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. He had truly never eaten raw meat, neither in this life nor the last. So he felt quite concerned. Seeing this little Hak Long wholeheartedly encouraged him, "Just eat. You'll become stronger. In less than 2.5 years, you'll be way stronger." Lam Yuan found what it said to be very true, and so he made up his mind. It was all to become stronger. Just like that, Lam Yuan closed his eyes and began to eat the chicken. After a while of tearing into it, little Hak Long happily announced that he had successfully devoured the fresh chicken and received 5 evolution points. Lam Yuan didn't plan to hold back at all. Just like that, Lam Yuan closed his eyes and began to eat the chicken. After a while of pecking, little Hak Long happily announced that he had successfully devoured the fresh chicken and received 5 evolution points. Lam Yuan didn't plan to save them. He immediately used those 5 points to upgrade his size. Little Hak Long happily replied. After consuming the 5 points, Lam Yuan's size indeed increased a bit, and his belly, which had just been full, immediately deflated. It was all gone. "I want to order some more meat. I could eat all night," Lam Yuan said with great enthusiasm. That night, he ate over 100 rabbits, and even the food stored in the fridge, ultimately turning his E-level black lizard into a giant black lizard, a level B level 7 battle beast. At this moment, Lam Yuan was very pleased to see that his soul beast had become much stronger. Even the rank had increased from E to B. What a great achievement! However, even though he was no longer a useless being who could only be food for others, his strength was still not enough. To become stronger, Lam Yuan had to acquire more evolution points. Moreover, the form of his fused soul beast was now too large. He couldn't stay in the house any longer. This urged Lam Yuan to find a deserted place or an abandoned warehouse soon. If he had reincarnated into this world, then he must stand at the highest peak to enjoy the scenery. He couldn't just live with his head down forever. Just as he thought of this, Lam Yuan suddenly saw his vision darken. It turned out that a few bullies from his class had come to cause trouble. Based on the memories of the original host, he recognized them as Li Fong and Zhang Loi. These two often bullied the original host. The reason they were so arrogant was that they were under Vu Makuyen, the guy standing in the middle. He was also a rare level S soul beast master in the school. Your useless self can't even speak. "Get up quickly, don't keep us waiting," Li Fong shouted loudly, and Zhang Loi immediately added, "Getting you to do a little chore for us is already a big favor." "Got it, you useless piece of trash." Lam Yuan looked at them, his expression immediately turning cold. Then he snapped the pen in his hand and uttered a single word, "Get lost." "What did you say?" Li Fong immediately jumped up, but Lam Yuan showed no fear. "Don't understand human language, huh?" This time the king dressed in Huyan arrogantly approached, mocking the weakest spirit beast master in the school today. "What a show-off. That little black lizard is only as big as your palm. I could just lift my foot and crush it. Why are you trying to act tough in front of me? You should know that trash belongs in the trash can. It's truly embarrassing to have a weak spirit beast master like you in this school. If I were you, I would have found a corner to just disappear. Let's just get this over with." "Well, I'm sorry, but I was planning to live my life well," Lam Yuan replied while Huyan was being so messy. Being answered like that again with a tone full of disdain made him incredibly furious. His face darkened as he shifted from mocking to threatening. Do you believe that I can make you not live anymore? However, before he could do anything, the homeroom teacher Trung Wheat walked into the classroom. Although she was extremely annoyed, Huyen had no choice but to temporarily let this matter go. To return to his seat, seeing that arrogant demeanor of him, Little Black Dragon really couldn't stand it at all. But what made him most proud was that Lam Huyen still maintained his composure, even when facing such a worthless person. After all, he was an S-rank beast soul master. He had the right to be arrogant, but sooner or later he would become a lost soul under my hands. Lam Huyen replied to him, speaking in a very gentle tone to say such cruel words. His face remained completely unfazed. Indeed, it made Little Black Dragon feel that his master was no ordinary person at all. After stabilizing the class, Trung Nguyet announced that the school had just provided training resources for the students called Beast Soul Crystals, and now she would distribute them to them. Lam Huyen didn't know what these Beast Soul Crystals were, so Little Black Dragon explained to him that they were created after a beast lost its life when its blood and flesh merged with the earth. Usually, Beast Soul Crystals are divided into high-grade, medium-grade, and low-grade. In fact, they contain a lot of energy that is suitable for Beast Soul Masters to absorb. From there, they can enhance their power, and in the world of Beast Soul Masters, Beast Soul Crystals are equivalent to currency. The higher the quality of the crystal, the more expensive it is. Just the low-grade crystals alone are worth $1,000 each. It's just a pity that the school distributes crystals based on the beast souls that the students have awakened, and doing so is also to let them know that the world of beast soul masters is extremely brutal. Power is what determines everything. The strong stand at the top while the weak are eliminated. The strong win, the weak lose. That is the inevitable fairness in the world of beast soul masters. Vu Makuin, as the awakened Skull Beast Soul, received the first reward of 10 high-grade Beast Soul Crystals for his S-rank talent. As he walked toward the podium, the classroom was filled with murmurs of admiration. Vu Makuin is one of the only 2 S-rank Beast Soul Masters in our school, the other being the beauty to Motuit. There was once a senior who awakened an S-rank beast soul, the Great Sun Golden Crow, and now he has become a level 9 powerful lord. Perhaps in the future, Vu Makuin will also be as strong as that. When Vu Makuin stepped up, Trung Nguyet could clearly see the pride in his eyes and couldn't help but remind him. Even though he has a very good starting point, he shouldn't be complacent with his talent. If he develops steadily, he could very well become a Lord-level Beast Soul Master. Next was Zhang Loi, who awakened the Lava Beetle Beast Soul, receiving 5 medium-grade crystals for his A-rank talent. Those with B-rank talent, like Li Fong's Storm Wolf, received 5 low-grade crystals. After all the classmates in the class received their crystals, Trung Nguyet finally read out Lam Huyen's name. Because he was the weakest with his rank, he could only receive 5 extremely low-grade crystals. Once again, Lam Huyen became the laughingstock of the whole class. They said his E-rank talent had broken the school's record. With such a useless beast soul, I think you shouldn't even try to be a beast soul master anymore. Just go build a wall instead. It would be less embarrassing to go outside. Lam Huyen seemed to not hear these mocking words at all. He still walked toward Trung Nguyet. After she handed him the crystals, she just sighed and encouraged Lam Huyen to keep trying. Vu Makuin looked at his 5 crystals. His extremely low-grade ones then began to sing a song of ridicule. The lowest-grade crystals, $1,000 could buy a whole sack of them. And they were all just radiation rays. Your extremely poor rank. Then he started his song of ridicule. The lowest quality crystal, you could buy a whole sack for just 1,000 NDT. It's all just radiation. Basically useless for nurturing spirit beasts. I wouldn't even want this trash if you gave it to me. But it suits some of those useless folks just fine. As he finished speaking, Tiu Haklong leaned into Lam Huyen's ear to add some knowledge for him. The reason Huyen said that the extremely poor quality crystals are all radiation is that they are formed after the beasts are killed by nuclear weapons. Their flesh and blood have been contaminated with radiation. In everyone's eyes, this crystal is just garbage. But in reality, radiation contains immense energy that can be absorbed by Lam Huyen's energy absorption ability. In other words, for him, this is actually a great find. Trung Nguyet couldn't bear to see Lam Huyen being mocked like that. In the end, she took money from her own pocket to give him a high-quality crystal as encouragement. Unexpectedly, Lum Uyen said he would only accept her kindness and wanted her to exchange that high-quality crystal for a low-quality one. This made Trung Wheat extremely angry. Lum Uyen, do you even know what you're saying? You know you want to quickly improve your abilities, but you can't use too many crystals. It would harm your spirit beast. Faced with her anger, Lum Uyen didn't dare to say a word and just accepted the high-quality crystal. Then he returned to his seat. This made Huyen so jealous that his eyes turned red. He felt that Lum Uyen's talent was so poor. On what basis could he be valued by Trung Wheat just like that? Lum Uyen became even more of a thorn in his side. Looking at Lum Uyen, he was seriously thinking about how to use the Spirit Beast Crystal most effectively. According to Tiu Hak Long, a high-quality crystal is worth 10,000. The lowest quality one is only worth 100, so one high-quality crystal can be exchanged for 100 low-quality ones. Therefore, he suggested that after school, Lum Uyen should go to the Spirit Beast Hall to exchange. There would definitely be enough 100 low-quality crystals for him. That sounds reasonable. It's a good idea, Lum Uyen replied. As the two were talking, he heard someone calling him. He thought it was someone else, but it turned out to be Tonmo Tweet. She came to Lum Uyen's class to remind him to go home together after school. Because she had something personal to discuss, she also took the opportunity to boast about how that jerk, who always bothered her, had dropped out after Lum Uyen taught him a lesson yesterday. The atmosphere between the two was very cheerful, but to others it seemed very strange. The renowned beauty, Tonmo Tweet, the spirit beast fox with 9 tails of level S known as the Cold Flower in the school, was now actively seeking out and chatting with a low-level waste. It just felt absurd. Famous for being the Chow Lun flower in school, yet now she actively seeks him out, laughing and chatting with a lowly loser. It just feels so absurd when you think about it. The king of fashion Huyen is probably the most frustrated person. He feels that Lum Uyen is just too lucky. Clearly, he's just a weak E-rank spirit master, yet both the homeroom teacher Trung Wheat and Tomo Tweet treat him so well. So after class, he along with Li Fong and Zhang Loi blocked Lum Uyen's way. What's going on? Lum Uyen asked impatiently. What kind of charm did you give the teacher? And what about the dried flowers? What kind of despicable trick did you use to get close to him? I clearly told that rich kid to leave Tomo Tweet alone so I could put on a heroic rescue act and hold the beauty in my arms. But that jerk didn't keep his word. He played the disappearing act on me again. Turns out it was all your fault. Lum Uyen gritted his teeth in response. The king of fashion Huyen confessed without being forced. Up to this point, Lum Uyen finally realized that he was the one who had harmed the original owner. He never intended to pay him any mind. Who knew he would be the one to provoke his anger? What's wrong with you? A beauty like Tomo Tweet is obviously suited for a genius like me. Do you really think you deserve her, you chicken? The king of fashion. Huyen shouted loudly, then warned Lum Uyen to stay away from Tomo Tweet. Otherwise, he would definitely not spare him. As he spoke, he roughly grabbed Lum Uyen by the collar. Even though you're really angry, you don't dare to act out, because fighting at school would cause a lot of trouble and you'd get punished too. Miss Chuang Wiet treats you so well. You also don't want to put her in an awkward position, right? In the end, Lam Uyen just replied, I can't do it, nor do I want to. Vumak Huyen scoffed. Someone like you who doesn't know the sky from the ground. Maybe I should let Tumo Tuyet witness your uselessness, huh? But I don't want her to think I'm bullying the weak. And so he unilaterally proposed a bet, specifically during the beast training that will take place in 7 days if Lam Uyen can get through it. Vumak Huyen volunteered to eat a bag of low-level beast spirit crystals filled with radiation. On the contrary, if you lose, you have to completely disappear from his sight. To be fair, this is a big bet, but Vumak Huyen sees his opponent as just a useless person, so there's nothing he wouldn't bet on if he's that arrogant. Then Lam Uyen didn't mind giving his opponent a good beating, so he agreed. Because he was blocked by the Vumak Huyen group, it took some time, so when he got to the school gate, Tumo Tweet had already been waiting for him for a while. Even though she had to wait a long time, she didn't seem annoyed or impatient at all. You said you wanted to find me about something, what is it? Lam Uyen asked, and Tumo Tweet smiled brightly. To be honest, it's nothing serious. Didn't your class also get beast spirit crystals today? Tumo Tweet, just like Vumak Huyen, received 10 high-quality ones, so she intentionally wanted to share half with Lam Uyen. Earlier, she rushed to his class because she heard that Lam Uyen only got 5 low-level ones, worried that he would feel left out. Tomoteet saw how capable Lam Uyen was when he helped her, and he was definitely not inferior to a B-level. She felt that as long as he practiced hard, he would definitely achieve great results, so she wanted to share her crystals with him so he could quickly increase his strength. "Thank you for your concern, but I can't accept your beast spirit crystals," Lam Uyen gently refused. Of course, Tomoteet wasn't going to give up that easily. She said that the difficulty of the upcoming beast training is no joke. Even a B-level beast spirit master could fail. Lam Uyen would face even more difficulties. She couldn't use all those crystals by herself, so sharing them with someone who needed them more, like Lam Uyen, would be better. "Why are you sharing beast spirit crystals with me without worrying about not passing the training?" Lam Uyen asked again this time. Tomoteet confidently replied, "You underestimate me too much. My beast spirit is a level 5, 9-tailed snow fox. Even without touching the crystals, I can pass this training." Even so, Lam Uyen still didn't intend to accept her beast spirit crystals because he didn't need those high-quality ones anyway. Selling them would be taking advantage of someone else's generosity. So he said to Tomoteet, "While I can't tell you the reason I'm refusing, I assure you that I will definitely pass this training. If you can get through it smoothly, then I'll accept your kindness, okay?" Hearing him say that, Tomoteet was extremely delighted. Although she still had some doubts about whether Lam Uyen could really pass the training or not. "Then we have a deal, right?" "Of course it's true," he replied. "But if you hold back the crystals for me and end up not passing the training, I can definitely get through. If you can also pass this smooth hurdle, then I'll accept your good intentions. Okay." Hearing you say that, Tomoteet was overjoyed. Although she was still half in doubt about whether Lam Uyen could really get through the beast training or not. "Then it's a promise between us." "Of course it's true," you replied. "But if you specifically hold back the crystals for me leading to not passing the beast training, then that's not good. So you still have to prepare well on your own, okay?" Tomoteet nodded eagerly while Lam Uyen quietly thought about the upcoming training day next week. "That girl is definitely going to be shocked by your strength. Just wait and see." Once everything was settled, the two said their goodbyes since they were headed in different directions. As soon as Tomoteet left, Tio Halong jumped out to tease Lam Uyen. Aizo, that girl really cares about you." "Stop talking nonsense. Just take me to the Spirit Beast Hall," Lam Uyen replied coldly, making Tu Halong feel quite dejected. "Clearly. When talking to that girl, you act all gentle, but when it comes to me, your face looks like you've lost your last grain of rice." After that, the two headed to the Spirit Beast Hall. This is a place specifically for Spirit Beast Masters and is only open to them. A week later, it will also be the place where Lam Uyen's training assessment will take place. But today, the two just came to exchange Spirit Beast crystals first, when Lam Uyen took out a high-grade crystal and requested to exchange it for the lowest-grade crystals. The person in charge let out a loud gasp. Clearly, he secretly thought Lam Uyen was someone with a few screws loose. Because who in their right mind would exchange a high-grade Spirit Beast crystal for a bunch of junk? In the end, he still agreed to exchange for Lam Uyen. You spent 500 NDT on processing fees and awkwardly carried a bag of the lowest-grade Spirit Beast crystals back. Seeing the person in charge's eyes filled with judgment, Tu Halong immediately asked, "He won't think we're crazy, will he?" "Who cares? Genius and crazy are just a hair's breadth apart," Lam Uyen replied. After that, the two found an abandoned warehouse for Lam Uyen to absorb the Spirit Beast crystals, and this stuff, considered junk, turned out to be much more useful than Lam Uyen had imagined. He devoured a whole fresh chicken and only gained 5 evolution points yet by absorbing just a tiny crystal. He already received 1,000 points. That means the 100 crystals Lam Uyen has in hand equals 100,000 evolution points. Each level of Spirit Beast Masters is divided into 1 to 9 stars. The lowest level is the Battle Beast, then the Beast General Beast King Lord, and the highest is the Royal level. Currently, he is at the 7th level of Battle Beasts. If he absorbs all these crystals, then the training won't be a serious issue anymore. 7 days later, the training will take place at the Spirit Beast Hall as planned. Most of the students are feeling tense. Some absorbed all the Spirit Beast crystals the school provided and only managed to reach the 4th star Battle Beast. This training session, they don't even know if they'll pass or not. Some are curious about what level the two top students Vu Mac Huyen and To Mo Tweet are currently at. Just mentioning Vu Mac Huyen, they heard that jerk's voice. As expected, he and his two lackeys blocked Lum Uyen's path to tease him. So did the high-grade spirit beast crystal that Ms. Trung Wheat gave you help that little black lizard of yours reach the first star. Battle Beast. Lum Uyen calmly turned around and replied, "How are you preparing?" "My spirit beast has already reached the peak 8th star Battle Beast," Vu Mac Huyen arrogantly responded. Little did he know, Lum Uyen interrupted, "I'm not asking you that. I want to know if you've prepared to eat a bag of the lowest grade spirit beast crystals yet." As soon as he said that, the classmates thought Lum Uyen had gone crazy. "I want to ask, have you prepared to eat a whole bag of the lowest level spirit beast crystals yet?" As soon as those words were said, the classmates immediately thought Lum Uyen had gone crazy. Once again, Vu Mac Huyen was provoked by you making him furious. He had wanted to throw down, but at that moment Trung Wheat appeared announcing that the beast training assessment was about to begin. "Students, please quickly bring your identification and exam cards and enter the examination hall in order." Vu Mac Huyen gritted his teeth, only able to promise to settle the score with Lum Uyen outside the exam gate. After the beast training ended, little did he know that he was about to eat a whole bag of the lowest level crystals. The testing area was on the 3rd floor of the Beast Spirit Hall, and finally it was Lum Uyen's turn to participate in the assessment. The teacher in charge, upon looking at his file, rubbed his eyes several times and then asked again to be sure. "The beast spirit you awakened is level E." "Yes," Lum Uyen calmly replied. After that, he heard the other person let out a very soft sigh and then pat him on the shoulder, encouraging him to do his best. Clearly, in the teacher's eyes, Lum Uyen was the type of person who couldn't possibly pass the assessment. "Do your best this time." That was just a word of encouragement before he failed. Lum Uyen sat down in a chair equipped with a simulated combat device. Once it started, his mind was transported to a barren desert. There was no advantageous terrain he could use. From afar, a deafening growl echoed, indicating that Lum Uyen's opponent had appeared. As it got closer, he realized it was a wild wolf with a rank of level 3 battle spirit. Just look at its fierce appearance. This was indeed the enemy in the first trial of the assessment. Beast training. As soon as the wolf saw Lum Uyen, it howled again and then lunged to attack. But in his eyes, its level was nothing more than child's play. Lum Uyen felt relaxed. Dodging was very easy. Seeing him simply use his muscle power to hawk long was very curious and asked why Lum Uyen didn't merge with his beast spirit. But dealing with such a vastly different level of monster, Lum Uyen felt there was no need to merge with the beast spirit. He could just take this opportunity to stretch his muscles and relax a bit. Outside, the teacher in charge was very surprised watching the progress and saw that Lum Uyen quickly passed the first hurdle. Then a few more wolves attacked him. But Lum Uyen continued to fight purely without any intention of merging with the black spirit. "You come here and see this." Seeing that scene, the teacher in charge quickly called his colleague over, saying he had never encountered such a case in his life. It was so puzzling. Lum Uyen didn't need the help of beast spirit power, but could still defeat a pack of level 3 battle spirit wolves. But the truth was, he didn't need to merge. With every punch he threw, another wolf fell, and so Lum Uyen just chilled. His fighting talent from his past life helped him completely outclass the pack of wolves, while the two teachers in charge were already so shocked they couldn't speak. "This kid is truly a monster," they muttered. "This is a case that has never happened before. Beast training is supposed to test the strength of the beast spirit." Lum Uyen didn't merge, but could easily defeat a pack of level 3 battle spirit wolves. This was indeed somewhat inconsistent with the rules, but it couldn't be considered cheating. They were in a difficult position, only able to wait and see if Lum Uyen could pass the 3rd hurdle. Because if you don't pass the 3rd round of the assessment, you can't really say you've completed the beast training. The first 2 stages are only designed for candidates to quickly adapt to the rhythm of real combat. The 3rd stage is the true boundary of difficulty. Without the help of the soul beast's power, there's no way to get through the 3rd stage. Even if he puts forth all his strength, he won't be able to do it. It's such a pity that this kid's soul beast talent is only at level E. If his soul beast were just a bit stronger, then his future would definitely be limitless. The teacher, who just encouraged Lam Uyen, couldn't hide his regret as the third stage of beast training was about to begin. The little black dragon advised him not to get too complacent, because this opponent would be much tougher, the 6-star beast warrior, the Flower Origin Wolf King. As soon as it appeared, Lam Uyen could feel an immense pressure. But that pressure actually made him feel incredibly excited. Normally, to defeat the power of a 6-star beast warrior, the requirements for a beast master are extremely high. No wonder they always say that only those who awaken soul beasts of level A or higher are qualified to pass the beast training in their first year. It seems this is the moment to unleash the true power of Lam Uyen. After the long wait of the little black dragon, he finally decided to merge with his soul beast. The moment Lam Uyen's soul beast appeared, it was no longer an ordinary black lizard. At this point, his soul beast had evolved into a giant monitor lizard, matured with a talent rating of level S, currently at the level of a 3-star beast general. Its height reached 10.7 meters and weighed 3,000 kilograms. With this size, Lam Uyen could easily crush that Flower Origin Wolf King with just a stomp. The little black dragon was extremely excited to see his master successfully surpass the level of a combat beast and enter a higher realm, stepping into a new beginning. Lam Uyen raised his head high. He let out a roar to assert his dominance. People always look down on his weak black lizard soul beast. But what about the black lizard? Even a black lizard can transform into a fierce dragon after he merges once more, causing the two supervisors outside to panic. They kept asking each other, "Hey, you didn't just see that wrong, did you? Is this kid really ranked E? Odysseus." I'm not blind. If you don't believe me, come over and see for yourself. It clearly says level E on his exam paper. What on earth is going on with this beast that has such a form? At the very least, it should be a being below the level of a beast general. The awakening of his soul beast was only a few days ago, and now he already possesses the strength of a beast general. This must be a talent of level S or even S plus or S plus plus. The Flower Origin Wolf King, after seeing Lam Uyen merge, let out a loud roar. However, its roar only served to intimidate weaker or equally matched opponents. But for someone like Lam Uyen, who already possessed a soul beast of a completely different caliber, its roar only made him feel deafened. So Lam Uyen raised his claw. He decisively struck down. In just one move, he truly crushed his opponent. He defeated the 6-star beast warrior. Outside, the two teachers shouted in unison. Then they hurriedly divided tasks. One stayed to record the 6th achievement that Lam Uyen had just made, while the other went to report back to the chairman of the examination council on the way. He seemed extremely excited because finally, in this city of Zhenhai, a genius had emerged who could shake the entire world. On the other hand, inside the beast training ground, Lam Uyen was about to enter the 4th challenge. But when he saw the monstrous beasts gradually appearing through the sandstorm, he looked a bit disappointed. Is it still the original Flower Wolf? The difficulty of this beast training is somewhat disappointing. At this moment, Lam Uyen stood tall before the chaotic scene. The black dragon loudly warned that the first 3 gates were just the score. To continue the challenge through beast training. Only then can one achieve a higher score, because many prestigious schools, when accepting beast soul masters, must refer to that person's beast training results. He focused on the pack of wild wolves and assessed 6 3-star wildflower wolf kings and 3 2-star wildflower wolves. It seemed this round was a test of the combat ability of the beast soul master. Then Lam Uyen proudly opened his mouth and roared, "These things are nothing but a challenge to me." At that moment, a protective layer suddenly burst open, blocking the wild wolf's path. Lam Uyen then dashed forward. Sparks flew from his feet as he swung his blade repeatedly, the slashes tearing through the air. The wolves couldn't react in time. Blood splattered everywhere. Finally, Lam Uyen put all his weight into a thunderous stomp down. The wild wolf raised its head proudly under the sunlight, and on the ground lay a series of lifeless wild wolf bodies. Lam Uyen let out a sigh of exasperation. I don't even know how many more challenges this beast training program has. At this moment, outside Sun Ha was extremely impatient, asking what was going on. Why was he rushing over here to find me? Don't you know that during the assessment, the supervisor is not allowed to leave the supervisor's area? The opponent hurriedly reported to the examiner. Here's the thing. A contestant is showing some unusual behavior, so I came here to invite you to take a look. The supervisor kept rambling about his talent level, and the power he displayed isn't quite right. However, Sun Ha calmly replied, "What's so unusual about that? Many people in practical assessments often perform much better than usual. Those at level B can surpass those at level A. Are you really surprised?" He hurriedly shouted, "But he's a level E talent!" At that moment, he widened his eyes in shock. "What kind of talent level is this?" And he dares to participate in the beast training assessment. The courage of this kid is indeed commendable. Saying that, Sun Ha charged towards the control room, banging the drums and calling me over. Just because of a level E beast soul contestant. The supervisor tried to explain, "Examiner, please look at his combat footage first, then decide." He frowned and muttered, "A beast soul master with level E talent. Could he really pass the beast training?" The image of the soul beast standing tall on the screen immediately struck his eyes. Lam Uyen's entire body seemed to radiate an incredibly overwhelming aura. Witnessing this scene, his face began to break out in cold sweat. He lost control and stepped back. "Are you sure this is a level E beast soul?" The supervisor behind also shouted, "Now you probably understand why I brought you here." He continued to explain, "From what I've observed, this kid's strength is at least at the level of a beast general." He continued to recount, "From what I've observed, this kid's strength is at least at the level of a beast general." Right now, he's challenging the 10th level of the beast training exam. Sun Ha is increasingly unable to believe that the 10th gate is the final test for beast training. The difficulty is extremely high because these 10 flower spirit wolves all possess the strength of 7-star battle beasts. The supervisor spoke up, asking if this guy could pass through the 10th gate. Then it would prove that he has the strength of a beast general. "Isn't that right?" He frowned and rebutted, "It's not just that. He could also become a target for prestigious schools to compete over. Yes, he might even pass all 10 gates of the exam program. Beast training, without exception, is for extraordinary geniuses." After that, Sun Ha confidently asserted, leaving the two supervisors stunned. If nothing unexpected happens, then this kid's future achievement will at least be that of a beast soul lord. He might even become a beast soul emperor. At this moment, he moved closer to observe. First, let's not talk too much. The question is whether he can pass through this 10th gate or not. It's still uncertain. The land here is extremely barren and withered. Each ray of scorching sunlight continuously beats down on the earth. Lam Uyen silently calculated, thinking that the final gate of the beast training exam would feature a beast general level monster. To his surprise, it was just 10 flower spirit wolf kings. A few stubborn wild wolves still growled defiantly. At this point, he felt disgusted and snorted coldly. Then Lam Uyen fiercely raised his claws, his mouth starting to curse. "Trash is just trash." The eerie streaks of light continuously pierced into the wild wolves' bodies, making the air thick with the smell of death. Even if there were more, they would just be a bunch of trash gathered in one place. On the side, many wild wolves rushed in to pounce. However, just as they touched a brilliant light sphere that suddenly erupted from Lam Uyen's body, it formed a solid protective barrier. The wild wolves frantically bit and clawed. The sound of their fangs hitting the barrier was extremely piercing, but they were all bounced back. The supervisors in the control room gasped, shouting, "This defense is truly terrifying." They watched, unable to take their eyes off him, amazed that he could withstand it. The attack power of 7-star battle beasts was astonishing, with every swing of Lam Uyen's hand leaving everyone stunned. The attack defense speed and agility were all at a perfect level. A series of small, wild wolf bodies were chopped down with no way out. What kind of talent is this? The scene quickly became drenched in the smell of fresh blood, chaotic and foul. I could just submit my life directly. At that moment, Lam Uyen's eyes were still blazing. There are still 6 left. After saying that, he opened his mouth and let out a roar. The sound waves echoed, startling the wild wolves. Everyone in the control room became even more tense. This power is... A dazzling beam of light appeared from Lam Uyen's mouth. If that's the case, witnessing this scene, the wild wolves unexpectedly retreated cautiously. Immediately, the beam of light enveloped the entire surrounding scene. He opened his mouth and shot out a terrifying column of fire, wiping everything out in one breath. "You guys are always so easy to deal with." Then Lam Uyen looked up. Thick black smoke swirled around his body. The supervisors couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. What kind of skill is this? The air was now thick with the smell of death. A multitude of wild wolf corpses lay scattered on the ground. Behind the hazy smoke was the towering, powerful figure of Lam Uyen. Finally, a loud voice from the system rang out. Candidate Lam Uyen, you have passed the entire beast soul training exam. Lam Uyen glanced at the passing mark and thought to himself, the difficulty of this beast training exam. It was much simpler than I imagined. Then he wondered to himself, but if I can pass this round of exams, then it can be proven in this assessment. The results I've achieved aren't bad either. I wonder how many people will be amazed when the results come out. Lam Uyen thought that even if the martial spirit was a top-tier talent, it still couldn't surpass the beast training assessment. Thinking of this, his gaze became resolute. I want to seize this opportunity for the assessment, so that all the universities can see. Even if it's a level E beast spirit, it can still possess incredibly strong power, the Black Dragon proudly said as the assessment concluded. Lam Uyen quickly opened his eyes from the chair. The system panel clearly displayed his information. Name, Lam Uyen, gender male, age 18. Beast, spirit, awakened, level E snake. The strength test of the 3-star beast general. This data is concluded based on the power demonstrated in the real simulation battle, which has a certain margin of error and is only for reference. The examiner gasped in amazement at every point he read. At just 18 years old, having awakened his beast spirit only 2 weeks ago and already able to use the power of 3-star beast generals, this talent is indeed monstrous. How terrifying then as Shanha slowly approached, his deep voice echoed, Congratulations, you've successfully passed all the trials of beast training. Do you know what this means? Lam Uyen smiled comfortably, wanting to say that the results I achieved aren't bad, right? Just then the examiner beside him excitedly shouted, Not just not bad now. The talent and strength you've discovered. I can assure you that whether it's a legendary beast or a demon beast, they will all compete to take you in. After hearing this, Lam Uyen calmly nodded. So, when will my results be announced? He loudly replied, If nothing unexpected happens, the results will be announced this afternoon. The examiner couldn't help but think to himself, he's quite calm, isn't he? If it were another candidate, they would have been overjoyed by now. At that moment, Lam Uyen quickly stepped down. He gently said, Thank you, 2 examiners. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. However, at that moment, Shanha unexpectedly called him back. Wait! He was surprised and tilted his head. Is there anything else? He couldn't help but ask, Why is your talent level only? Was there something that happened when you awakened your beast spirit? If something did happen, you can report it to me. I will help you resolve it. Hearing this, Lam Uyen shook his head vigorously. No, when I awakened my beast spirit, I was really weak. So having an E level isn't strange at all. It has already reduced the market's expectations. Shanha immediately exchanged glances with the chief examiner. Do you think this kid is telling the truth? Looking at his expression, it doesn't seem like he's lying, but it makes me feel that his thoughts are quite unpredictable. He watched Lam Uyen's back as he left, and murmured to himself after achieving such impressive results. Doing well without boasting and not getting anxious when not doing well is a very admirable quality. With his talent paired with such temperament, the future only fears the emergence of another soul beast master with overwhelming power. Then the scene shifts outside the schoolyard where all the students are chattering loudly. Suddenly, a shout rings out, I'm here, Lam Uyen! Mo Tuyit cheerfully waves her hand, calling out to him. Lam Uyen looks at her rushing over and asks, So, did you get through the training beast? Mo Tuyit wide-eyed confidently replies, Of course I passed. Moreover, my results aren't too shabby either. Lam Uyen continues, Oh really? Which gate did you get through? She beams with joy. The 9th gate. Hearing this, he immediately exclaims, Wow, that's impressive. Lam Uyen thinks to himself, I never expected she could get through 9 gates. It seems Mo Tuyit's strength has improved much more than I imagined. At this moment, he quickly senses Mo Tuyit's curious gaze. She wants to ask about his results, but doesn't know how to start. After all, under normal circumstances, even an E-level soul beast would struggle to get through the first gate. Thinking of this, Lam Uyen can't help but smirk. In a bit, I might just scare her a little. Finally, he puts his hands on his hips and proudly declares, Come on, it's not every day we finish an exam. Don't dwell on your results too much. I'll treat you to a meal to celebrate you passing the 9 gates. Motuit happily agrees. I want to eat a huge bowl of spicy noodles. This immediately makes Lam Huyen suspicious. Why doesn't this girl have anyone chasing after her? She puffs her cheeks in annoyance. Why don't you take me to that place we ate last time? I'm craving it so much. It's been ages. Lam Huyen rests his chin in thought, recalling that place was a bit far. If that's the case, they might not make it in time for the results announcement. But Mo Tuyet doesn't care anymore. She firmly grabs his hand. Forget it. After all the results are already set. The announcement is just about the rankings. Lam Huyen calculates in his mind, if nothing unexpected happens, no one should be able to surpass my results. Mo Tuyet runs ahead, urging him, hurry up. I'm so hungry, he helplessly replies. I know. It's already 1 p.m. In the Soul Beast Square, students are still waiting, packed tightly. At that moment, a loud shout suddenly breaks through the noise. Hey, get out of the way! Make way for me! They look at each other in shock, whispering, who is this arrogant person? It's Vu Mac Huyen from Tran High No. 1, a Soul Beast master of S-level talent. He stands proudly at the center of attention, having passed through 7 gates in the Beast Training Assessment, matching last year's top scorer. Vu Mac Huyen boldly pushes into the crowd, making quite a scene. Vu Mac Huyen will surely be this year's top scorer from Tran High. An S-level soul beast is indeed terrifying. Regardless of whether it's a rare beast or a demonic beast, he could easily get through. He excitedly tells himself that with someone as outstanding as him, he will always draw attention wherever he goes. Thinking of this, Vu Mac Huyen smirks. For this assessment, I prepared thoroughly. I even had my parents buy me a large amount of soul elixirs to maximize my soul beast's potential in the shortest time. I've prepared very thoroughly. I even asked my parents to buy me a large amount of spirit pills that can maximize the spirit beast's potential in a short time. Then he suddenly remembered something right. Why can't I see that little brat Lam Huyen anywhere? The gang members sneered along with him, no need to ask why. He's definitely looking for a hole to hide in. A talent like him, and he dares to defeat our boss. Truly, he's just a clueless fool. Zhang Loi smirked and said, I'm done for if it were me. I wouldn't even have the face to say another word. By then, I would have already found a hole to crawl into. Li Fong sighed, initially thinking there would be a good show to watch. Who knew that this Don guy wouldn't show his face here? What a coward! At that moment, Mac Huyen disdainfully said to leave. If he doesn't want to show himself, let him be a turtle hiding in its shell for life. Then he happily thought, Lam Huyen ran away, huh? This is exactly what I wanted. It's best if he never shows up again. However, at that moment, a deep voice suddenly rang out from afar. I told you that haunted place is really far. And yet you still want to go eat that person. Teasing playfully, it's okay, it's just the right time to announce the results, but I'm too full. Mac Huyen immediately turned to look in the direction of that voice. What caught his eye was the scene of Lam Huyen and Mo Tuyet walking together chatting happily. He was so furious he could feel the heat rising. This useless Lam Huyen. How dare he show up with Mo Tuyet in front of me? Now Mac Huyen and 2 of his lackeys swaggered over. Isn't that Lam Huyen? Looking at your relaxed appearance, it seems the training results aren't too bad. Lam Huyen calmly replied, Not bad at all, at least for me. Li Fong sneered, mimicking a satisfied tone. You're being too modest. It must have been really tough for you to get past the first round, right? And Jiang Loi scoffed. The first round was just about having hands, wasn't it? Could there really be someone who couldn't get through? The group of students around them burst into laughter. Everyone don't mock him. Just participating in the assessment as a low-tier spirit beast is already impressive. Saying that Mac Huyen stepped closer, pointing directly at Lam Huyen. You still remember that incident, right? He scratched his head and casually replied, If you hadn't brought it up, I might have forgotten. Then Lam Huyen asked in a serious tone, Since you brought it up, so have you prepared for failure? Your words immediately made him furious. How could I lose to a useless guy like you? Just then, the bell rang unexpectedly. The group of students became even more chaotic, gathering around to see the rankings and the results of the assessment. Quick look at the results. Who's at the top? Mac Huyen thought to himself, this year's champion is no one but me. However, as soon as he saw his name, he froze. Mac Huyen's eyes widened, and he was drenched in sweat. Why am I third? There are 2 people stronger than me. He squinted his eyes to observe more clearly. McHuyen was panicking inside. Second place is Tomo Tweet. How could she pass the 9th round of the assessment? He never expected Tomo Tweet's talent to surpass his. He bit his lip tightly and looked up higher, say, Oi, question if Tomo Tweet safely passed the 9 rounds of assessment and only ranked 2nd, then who on earth is first? McQueen's face was getting sweatier. At that moment, on the big screen in the square, a giant image of Lam Uyen appeared with the words, Lam Uyen. Final result passed the 10th round of assessment. McHuyen couldn't believe his eyes. How could Lam Uyen do that, just relying on that E-rank spirit beast? The final achievement after passing the trial of level 10. Huyen couldn't believe her eyes. How could Lam Uyen do that, just relying on that lowly soul beast? How could he pass all 10 rounds of the student competition and still break down? They kept whispering to each other, Who is this Lam Uyen? How can he be so strong? He actually made it safely through the 10th round. The beast training assessment only has 10 rounds, which means he has successfully passed all of them. I wonder what kind of spirit beast he has awakened. And how could he have such power? Then they looked at Vu McHuyen and laughed out loud. So this is the champion of this year. Even the S-level spirit beasts like Tumo Tiit and Vu McHuyen have to admit defeat. Not to mention, Tumo Tweet's achievements are already quite high. He safely passed 9 rounds. It's a pity he ran into a monster like that. The one who looks the most embarrassed is definitely Vu McHuyen. Before announcing the results, he blew up the sky. In the end, he was pushed down to 3rd place. What a laugh. At this moment, Lam Uyen tilted his head and casually asked, just as I said, Now the loser is you. Isn't it time to settle the bet? He smirked, looking quite pleased. How about this low-grade crystal? Do you want it plain or with some seasoning? As soon as he finished speaking, the students turned their heads in a frenzy. That's the first place. Lam Uyen Mo Tiet stared wide-eyed at him. His rank is even higher than mine. No wonder when it came to discussing achievements, he seemed unfazed. But how did he manage to do that? McHuyen was so angry he was about to explode. This is impossible. He kept pointing and cursing. A useless guy like you who only has an E-rank spirit beast. How could you achieve such results? You must have cheated. His loud outburst quickly attracted more students. Isn't that Vu McHuyen over there? Is he saying that the first place Lam Uyen cheated? Cheated? Are you serious or joking? Can you even cheat in a spirit beast trial? What's going on? The one who supposedly cheated for first place, isn't that Tumo Tuyit? The 2nd-tier snow tomb is also there. Now Lam Uyen is feeling a bit frustrated. He furrows his brow and retorts, Do you really think I need to cheat to beat someone like you? McHuyen stubbornly screams, You say there's no cheating, then explain to me why a rank E spirit beast was able to safely pass the 10th round. The crowd starts to shift their opinions. A rank E spirit beast, isn't that the weakest type? How could he possibly pass all 10 trial rounds? Could it be that he really did cheat? No way, this is a simulated combat scenario completely isolated from the outside. How could there be cheating? In front of this scene, the black dragon hovering above also expresses concern about being suspected. However, Lam Uyen remains very calm. Who says a rank E spirit beast can't pass the examination? There's no rule against it in the handbook. McHuyen grits his teeth and warns Lam Uyen, Don't get too smug. I'm going to report this to the judging panel and expose your dirty tricks. He furrows his brow and mutters, The judges. The black dragon leans in to explain, if there's an issue with the contestant's performance, it can be reported to the judging panel of the Spirit Beast Academy, but it's very rare for them to adjust scores. Hearing this, Lam Uyen boldly declares, If you want to go ahead, once it's confirmed that I didn't cheat you, we'll definitely have to accept the consequences. The black dragon expresses disbelief. I can't understand how someone like him could be a rank S spirit beast. McQueen agrees and yells just as a roar from afar suddenly echoes. What's all this noise outside the hall? Son Ha, along with the giant Lord Spirit Beast, strides in with an imposing presence. The chief examiner, the Black Dragon, is astonished at the sight, shouting, No wonder he's a Lord Spirit Beast Master. The pressure is intense, he thinks to himself. A Lord Spirit Beast Master, huh? All the students start buzzing, That's Master Son Ha. I heard his Earth Demon Beast has reached rank 7 Lord level. So, he's a Lord Spirit Beast Master? This guy's power is no joke. He is the Spirit Beast Master from Zhenhai City, and this time he has come here to be the chief examiner. At this moment, Sun Ha stands before them and questions in a deep voice. Did anyone want to report something to the Spirit Beast Academy? Mak Huyen politely bows his head and says, That would be me. I believe that Lam Yuyan's performance has issues. He points directly at Lam Yuyan. Without any hesitation, he only awakened a rank E Spirit Beast. How could he safely pass all 10 rounds of examination? There's definitely something wrong with this. I want the Spirit Beast Academy to provide a reasonable explanation. After hearing this, Sun Ha replies indifferently. When contestant Lam Yuyan participated in the examination, I was also present to observe. But throughout the entire process, I didn't notice anything unusual. He furrows his brow and asks back, Are you implying that you suspect I helped that contestant cheat? A few seconds later, Mak Huyen regains his serious demeanor and solemnly speaks, Judge Zhao, this is the pride of our entire Zhenhai City. I certainly cannot doubt you. However, the spirit beast, the termite snake that contestant Lam Yuyan awakened, is rated as a rank E talent. He turns to the noisy crowd and subtly remarks, I'm sure everyone here is aware of what rank E talent means. The spirit beast, a sand snake that contestant Lam Yuyan awakened, is rated as E-level talent. He turned to the noisy crowd and said meaningfully, I'm sure everyone here knows what this E-level talent is like. This E-level talent has its own significance. Lam Yuyan only used an E-rank beast spirit, yet he managed to pass through 10 challenges. Mak Huyen affirmed this with certainty, so I believe the judge must be at least aware of it. We need to compare the video of contestant Lam Yuyan. Only then can we truly admire him. Yeah, we also find it quite strange. How could he possibly do that? However, Sun Ha shook his head, refusing this request. I'm sorry, but I can't comply. According to the regulations of the Beast Spirit Academy, unless there's a special circumstance, judges cannot disclose contestant information. At this moment, Mak Huyen smiled faintly. If we can't broadcast the recording of the competition, how can we prove whether Lam Yuyan's achievements are real or fake? Then we'll have to find another way. He slowly told him to go ahead. After saying that, he raised his head and declared, Let's have a duel between me and Lam Yuyan. If he wins, then of course his results are unquestionable. Mak Huyen arrogantly pointed and proclaimed, But if he loses, then we can say his achievements are fundamentally due to cheating. At that moment, the students began to realize what was happening. Mak Huyen was clearly trying to slap Lam Yuyan in the face. Meanwhile, Mo Tweet behind was so furious that she wanted to rush up. He's really infuriating making such a decision on his own. He just wants to humiliate you in front of everyone. Lam Yuyan raised his hand to stop him. It's okay. Hak Long nodded in agreement. This guy's intentions are clear. He's looking for a chance to attack you and then prove in front of everyone that you're just a useless piece of trash. You smirked. That's not right. Old grudges and new debts should be settled all at once. Mak Huyen frowned and asked Judge True, challenging someone else. This surely doesn't fall under the restrictions of the Beast Spirit Academy, right? He replied. Of course not. But we also need to ask for the consent of the person involved. Lam Yuyan stood at the center of the commotion. Would he accept Mak Huyen's challenge or not? That's how things turned out. Lam Yuyan couldn't take charge of the situation. If Lam Yuyan refuses the challenge, he will definitely be seen as a cheater. At this moment, he turned to challenge him directly. Do you dare to accept my challenge? Mo Tweet beside reassured him. If you're not confident about winning, you can choose not to accept. However, Lam Yuyan just pursed his lips. If someone touches you, no matter how much you endure, it's useless. You can only directly break the bones of your opponent to make him understand fear. After saying that, he raised his hand high, signaling the start of this battle. I accept. Lam Yuyan's action made the atmosphere in the square chaotic. Oh my God, he agreed. An S-rank beast spirit against an E-rank in the history of the beast. Spirit examinations, this has never happened before. But with such a vast difference in levels, Lam Yuyan would definitely be crushed by his opponent. Yet Lam Yuyan was the first from Zhenhai City to pass through 10 levels in the Beast Spirit examination. The outcome is hard to predict. At this moment, Sun Hai spoke calmly. To be honest, this battle isn't really necessary. One is first place, the other is third place. They are both pride of Zhenhai City. I don't need to fight over such trivial matters. Why bother fighting to the death over this? He glanced at Mak Huyen, implying that he had already said it. I assure you he did not cheat during the Spirit Beast assessment. However, this only made him angrier. Why do they keep defending this Lam Huyen? What does that guy have that makes them so biased? Mak Huyen stubbornly shouted, "If you say he didn't cheat, then let's have a match. Judge Trio, I hope you will take on the role of witness for this battle. I will show you how I can tear this kid apart." In the end, Sun Ha didn't want to argue anymore. He sighed wearily. If that's the case, then I will let you two fight it out on the arena in the Spirit Beast Hall to determine who's superior. Anyone who wants to watch can come. A little while later at the Spirit Beast Hall's fighting arena, all the students rushed in, filling every seat. Sun Ha stood in the middle and began to explain. Anyone who wants to come and watch is welcome. A little while later at the Soul Beast arena, all the students rushed in, filling every seat. Sun Ha stood in the middle and began to announce. If both sides are ready, then let's begin the battle. First, let me clarify the rules of the match. The two of them face each other, neither willing to back down. This is just a sparring match. You can use all your strength to respond, but you must not cause any fatal accidents. As long as one side concedes, the battle will come to an end. During the fight, absolutely no outside assistance is allowed. If you break the rules, it means you have failed. Have you all heard that clearly? With that, they shouted firmly, "Understood." Sun Ha got the message, so I declare the battle officially begins. Mak Huyen swaggered provocatively. "You should know that whatever happens today is all on you." Lam Huyen shouted, "I didn't think you would be so reckless." Of course, I won't hesitate to cause a scene like this. If you want, you can beg me to spare you. I might consider it as long as someone as pathetic as you doesn't waste my time. At that moment, Mak Huyen's body shimmered with light. "Go die!" He fused with the beast's soul, and in an instant, he transformed into an enormous beast. Fierce, everyone gasped at this colossal beast. It's terrifying, the clone of this giant reptilian beast. It must be over 5 meters tall. This is indeed a level S beast soul, a true talent that's hard to see with the naked eye. No wonder he's the third-ranked genius on the leaderboard. His strength is not to be underestimated. Mak Huyen then bent down and swung his tail, but Lam Huyen simply jumped lightly to dodge. His eyes immediately flared with anger at the useless fool who didn't dare to fuse with a beast soul. The students in the stands agreed exactly. Why doesn't that guy dare to fuse with a beast soul? A level E beast soul can overpower 2 level S beast souls. This is truly unfair. Meanwhile, Cao Mo Tuyet stood in the stands, increasingly worried. Lam Huyen's beast soul, the skink, is only level E. Although I'm not sure how he managed to pass the 10 levels of assessment. If she started to sweat cold, if Vu Mak Huyen dares to endanger Lam Huyen's life, if True Sun Ha doesn't take action, then I will. Haglong approached teasingly. Although she couldn't hear, you can rest assured. Lam Huyen won't lose to that guy. After toying around for a while, Lam Huyen suddenly smiled lightly. Since you've been waiting for me to fuse with a beast soul, I'll fulfill your wish. His eyes quickly sparkled with a dazzling light as Lam Huyen floated in the strong wind, shouting powerfully, "Fuse with the beast soul." In the blink of an eye, Lam Huyen stood tall in the arena, surrounded by a flurry of electric sparks rising up. The students watching this scene were instantly on their feet. Is this really a level E beast spirit? Are you out of your mind? At that moment, Mak Huyen felt a bit intimidated, unable to believe it. A level E beast spirit, huh? How could it grow so fast? Lam Huyen casually blinked and asked, "So, what if it's a level E beast spirit?" He raised his hand to reveal massive claws, extremely sharp. Then Lam Huyen struck down towards him, saying, "Who decided that a level E beast spirit has to be weaker than a level S? Oris, At that moment, Mak Huyen looked up startled. The heavy hand of Lam Huyen came crashing down, creating a terrifying explosion that sent him flying out. If those claws had hit us just now, even if we didn't die, we would have been left with half a life. Lam Huyen retracted his sharp claws, and Mak Huyen suddenly sensed something was off. No, the power of those claws. Lam Huyen's strength is at least that of a beast general. However, he still couldn't believe it. How could this be possible? Just a few short days, and you've gained the strength of a beast general. Just as he was still in disbelief, Lam Huyen stepped forward. It was too late to dodge. Mak Huyen couldn't help but frown and curse, "Damn it, stubborn," while swinging his tail forward. I am a level S reptilian king? How could I lose to a level E loser like you? Lam Yuan slowly replied, his voice deep and mocking. I never expected you to dare fight back. This immediately startled Mak Huyan, and Lam Yuan's large hand casually tightened around his tail, like squeezing a small prey. Mak Huyan's body was lifted and thrown up. Damn it, what do you want? A pointless question. Lam Yuan threw him down hard onto the ground. A loud sound echoed, shaking the entire audience. He firmly asked, What do you think I want? Before the opponent could collect himself, he continued to swing his hand. He tossed Mak Huyan aside to change direction, his body like a lifeless sack being dragged, then slammed repeatedly onto the floor. The air became stiff and suddenly heated up. Mak Huyan's horn even broke in half. Moments later, Lam Yuan sighed, released his grip, and exhaled a long breath. The students were in an uproar, all eyes glued to the scene. Here he was crushing Vu Mak Huyan by himself. This was the true power of Lam Yuan. What? It turns out that teacher Tru Sun Ha wasn't favoring Lam Yuan, but was protecting Vu Mak Huyan. Mo Tit was equally astonished, even though she had known for a long time that Lam Yuan was not weak. But a level E beast spirit could be that strong. That's just too shocking. However, Mak Huyan still stubbornly shouted, No way. I am a level S beast spirit. How could I lose to a level E like you? Wait. He kept charging in to attack, but Lam Yuan raised his hand and severed his tail. He watched Mak Huyan fall freely and calmly reminded him, You lost. He still argued back, Who says I lost? At that moment, a small pellet unexpectedly appeared in Mak Huyan's mouth. He bit down hard and chewed, swallowing it fiercely. Sun Ha frowned, realizing it was a blood-exploding pill. The Black Dragon quickly flew over to explain that he had just consumed the Blood Fury pill. This can rapidly increase his rank in a short time. It's estimated that his power could rise from an 8-star Beast Warrior level. He could reach the peak of a 3-star Beast General level. He crossed his arms and sighed. But powerful medicine comes with side effects, the aftermath of using this pill. It would take a month to recover his body. What a madman. Even if he breaks the rules, he still wants to defeat you. Lam Yuan scoffed, calling him just a clown. At that moment, Sun Ha also stood up from his position. Vu Mak Huyan, you violated the rules, so you've lost. Stop. However, the two below acted as if they didn't hear anything. Lam Yuan even tilted his head to tease Vu Mak Huyan. You're even more useless than I imagined. Sun Ha was surprised by this kid. He was suspicious, wondering if Vu Mak Huyan had already taken the Blood Fury pill. Could he possibly want to continue fighting him? At this moment, Mak Huyan had gone insane. He opened his mouth and screamed, I want you dead. Hearing this, Lam Yuan still showed no reaction, which only confused Mak Huyan more. Why is he so calm? Clearly, his strength is much greater than Lam Yuan's now. However, at this very moment, Lam Yuan suddenly opened his mouth wide. A series of lights from nowhere rushed inside. What kind of energy is this Mak Huyan stubbornly charged forward? But now there was no way back for him, Lam Yuan. You die for me. The light in Lam Yuan's mouth grew larger, bringing an overwhelming pressure, just as Mak Huyan was still trying to gather himself. He was struck by that beam of light, sending him flying. The long beam, like a divine weapon, tore through space, rushing forward at an unstoppable speed. It seemed to be devouring everything. Then it pierced straight into Mak Huyan's chest, causing him to be thrown far away. His limp body collapsed like a torn leaf in the storm. Mak Huyan, covered in injuries, was pinned against the wall. It shattered, producing an extremely ear-piercing sound. In the blink of an eye, he returned to his human form, his mouth bleeding profusely in pain. At that moment, Sun Ha quickly declared loudly, I declare this match won by Lam Yuan. Furthermore, during the match, Vu Mak Huyan used a pill, violating the competition rules to enhance his strength. Now, does anyone have any objections to Lam Yuan's performance? This battle left everyone pale, drained of blood. It was terrifying that Vu Mak Huyan used a pill and still couldn't defeat Lam Yuan. Lam Yuan is really strong. Who is the blind fool judging his beast? Soul is of the E level, right? Have you ever seen an E level? Crushing an S level like that, huh? At this point, he took Mak Huyan's hand and pulled him up, bringing him to the medical room. His injuries weren't life-threatening, but the side effects after using the Blood Fury pill, he would also have to stay in bed for a month or two. The supervisor nodded. They supported him on his shoulders, constantly sighing in reproach. there probably won't be any cases like this. They can only blame this kid for reaping the storm he sowed. Back on the arena, Sun Ha proudly congratulated him on winning this match. Lam Yun gently replied, "Thank you, Judge." He was surprised and asked, "Why are you thanking me?" Lam Yun calmly explained, "Of course I thank you for giving me the chance to seriously injure him." Then, Lam Yun silently thought that with the power of the million Sun Ha, surely he could have arrived in time to stop me, but he didn't do that. At that moment, Sun Ha seized the opportunity to pat the kid on the shoulder. "Actually, I'm not just a judge. I'm also the recruitment teacher of Mado Beast Academy. Do you want to come with me?" This statement from the other party immediately left Lam Yun dumbfounded. "Yes." The Black Dragon spoke up to explain, "Mado Beast Academy is a Beast Soul Master Academy with a reputation equal to that of Yen King Beast Academy." The opponent's words immediately left Lam Yun stunned. "Yes," Hak Long explained, "Mado Beast Academy is a Beast Soul Master Academy with a reputation equal to that of Yen Kin Beast Academy. These two Spirit Beast Academies, they are both top-tier academies among the most prestigious schools you can get into. They are all geniuses among geniuses." Hearing this, he smiled and teased Teacher Zhao, "Isn't the admission process for your school a bit lacking in sincerity? After all, I'm the top scholar of Zhenhai City." As soon as he finished speaking, Shan Ha was immediately taken aback. He thought to himself, "Is this kid really normal?" Facing the scene presented by the Liu Academy, the first thought that crossed his mind was whether the school would benefit him in any way. Lam Yun began to ask more deeply, "Teacher Zhao, the Spirit Beast Academy is a top school, right? Surely it offers some conditions." Shan Ha shook his head and replied, "Of course not. As long as you agree to join the Spirit Beast Academy, I can apply for full resource support for you, including 500,000 in tuition, 20 high-grade Spirit Beast crystals, 5 Spirit Beast pills. In addition, there's a set of Beast God weapons at the Beast General level." Lam Yun carefully calculated, 20 high-grade Spirit Beast crystals are worth 200,000. 5 Spirit Beast pills are worth 250,000. At that moment, the Black Dragon yawned tiredly. "I think I'll just sneak away for a bit." Then he continued, "This is the best offer I can provide. These things not only show my sincerity, but also the sincerity of the Spirit Beast Academy." Just then, a shout rang out from somewhere. "Zhao Shanha really has no shame." A man strode over, his tone filled with anger. "You haven't even started recruiting yet, and you're already trying to lure this kid into the Spirit Beast Academy." Lam Yun pursed her lips, confused about who he was. How could he speak to Zhao Shanha in such a tone? This man was none other than the head of the Yanjing Spirit Beast Academy, Chung Nuhu. He shouted again, "Cut it out!" Shanha frowned tiredly. "Chung Nuhu, you can't just talk nonsense like that. Are you saying that only the good seeds can go to your Yanjing Spirit Beast Academy?" Cheng Nuhu still refused to back down, insisting, "Kid, don't let him fool you. The Yanjing Spirit Beast Academy is always better than the Spirit Beast Academy. Moreover, as long as you join the Yanjing Spirit Beast Academy, you can receive 500,000 in support, 40 high-grade Spirit Beast crystals, and 10 Spirit Beast pills." As soon as he finished speaking, everyone in the stand stood up and shouted, "No wonder it's the Yanjing Spirit Beast Academy. Truly impressive. Is this the treatment for super geniuses? Not only are 2 famous academies competing for you, but you also get all kinds of resources for free. If you can pass the 10 rounds of beast training, you would receive such treatment too." In the face of this scene, Shan Ha was so angry that his spirit beast seemed ready to leap out. "This damn guy dares to dig at my wall right in front of me." Chung Nuhu was not willing to back down either. "Who are you trying to scare? Do you think I'm afraid of you?" The two of them radiated an incredibly oppressive energy around them. Lam Yun stood in the middle, silently sweating. What tremendous power! Is this the strength of a Lord-level spirit beast? Just then, another voice rang out, "Wait a minute!" The giant spirit beast of the man vaguely appeared. "You too." A man slowly walked over. His power continuously radiated, suppressing everything. "What's with all this fiery energy?" Lam Yun frowned, trying to keep an eye on him. He was able to suppress even the aura of the Great Hall. "Huang and the Underworld Ghost Tiger, huh? Could it be that this chubby guy's strength is even greater than 1,000,000 Sun Ha?" The man smiled invitingly, saying that all you need to do is come to our Shuxian Beast Academy. We'll give you 3 million in subsidies, 50 high-grade beast soul crystals, and 10 beast spirit pills. This is the Shuxian Beast Academy, Lok Sun said enthusiastically. Plus, each semester, you'll receive 20 high-grade beast soul crystals, and it will continue until you graduate. I'm not lying to you. Our Shuxian really values nurturing talent. Lum Win bit her lip, thinking to herself that Shuxian really does have a lot of money. Following that many people showed interest in recruiting her, suggesting that she consider the Beast Academy. We can offer similar benefits, my friend. The Tiannan Beast Academy is actually the best choice for you. Come to our Hua Bei Beast Academy. We were ranked top 8 in last year's rankings. She calculated slowly. Even though these teachers wanted to recruit her, this wave was just using her to promote their school for free. Finally, the tiger spoke up, urging her, "You guys, stop making a fuss. What do you think, Lum Win?" Now, Lum Win quickly bowed her head, politely saying, "Thank you all for your kindness, but I'm really sorry. Aside from Yinkin Beast Academy and Mado Martial Academy, I won't consider other apprenticeships for now." After hearing this, Lok Sun calmly left, saying, "Kid, if you figure things out, you can always come find me." She nodded. "Yes, if necessary, I will definitely contact you the moment I need to." The two teachers became impatient, asking who she would choose. Lum Yin clasped her hand solemnly, promising, "When the enrollment period starts, I will definitely give you both an answer." Both agreed with satisfaction, saying, "I'll wait for your answer. Think carefully, kid." Lum Yin gently replied, "Yes," even after leaving. The two instructors continued to argue. "Who dug into my corner without shame? Who dug into yours? Wanna fight? Come on, who's afraid of who?" Their debate echoed throughout the arena. At this moment, Hak Long excitedly shouted, "Congratulations on what just happened." Vu Mak Huyen was identified by the system as a Beast Soul Master at the Beast Commander level. He received a silver ingot. Quickly open it to see what's inside. This is the first silver ingot he has received. He hesitated when a sweet voice came from afar. Lum Win and Mo Tweet smiled, admiring Lum Win. "You're really impressive. Now you've become the top scholar of Tranhai. Many prestigious universities want to compete for you." Lum Win curiously asked, "So which school are you planning to choose after all your talent and achievements will be valued by them?" She rested her chin on her hand, pondering. "I think you should choose between Yen Kin Beast Academy or Ma Do Beast Academy. You don't want to study at the same school as me, do you?" Lum Win nodded. "If possible, that would be great. It would be nice to have someone familiar, but I will also consider it myself." After a while, Mo Tiet looked up. "If we talk about overall strengths, Yen Kin Beast Academy has a stronger background, but I will choose Ma Do Beast Academy." Lum Win wondered why. She tilted her head, avoiding the question, "Because there's someone at Yen Kin Beast Academy I don't want to meet." It was already late afternoon, and the sky was gradually turning a light pink. Lum Win told herself that it seemed she didn't want to say much, so maybe she shouldn't ask anymore. Returning home, Hak Long excitedly flew around, having 10,000 evolution points. It looked at the object in front of it and shouted, "Fiery Claw Beast, God Weapon at the Beast, Commander Level." Hak Long explained, "When the fiery claw attacks the enemy, flames will appear on the claw, causing additional fire damage to the opponent." Lum Win understood well. Her calm attitude made Hak Long sulk in anger. "What do you mean, not bad? It's really powerful." Beast God. Weapons are divided into levels: Beast Warrior, Beast Commander, Beast King, Beast Lord, and Beast Emperor. This kind of Beast God weapon of yours must cost several 100,000. The Beast God weapons are divided into levels: Battle Beasts, Beast Generals, Beast Kings, Lord, Beasts, and Beast Emperors. The type of Beast God weapon you have must be worth tens of thousands. Lum Win was surprised and asked, "Is it really that expensive?" It nodded and replied, "This is actually a good deal. The Beast Soul Soldier is like a Beast King. You have to invest thousands and thousands to get there. With our luck, who knows, we might just hit the jackpot later on." You rested your chin in thought for a moment. "I need to quickly get a Beast King level too." Just then Hak Long suddenly asked, "Right, what are you planning to do about school?" Lum Win challenged, "Do you have any information?" It seriously analyzed. There's a saying like this: Yinkin Beast Academy nurtures strong individuals. The Ma Do Beast Academy nurtures top-tier strong individuals. Moreover, I feel you definitely like the Ma Do Beasts. Lam Yuan looked confused about why Hak Long was so loud. They value martial prowess. Everything is based on strength. Everyone loves the strong. Even the school has set up 3 special rankings, the Team Long, the Beast King, and the Beast God. All resources are based on these rankings. It explained in great detail. If Yen Kin Beast Academy is a suitable environment for the strong, then the Ma Do Beast Academy is a brutal beast fighting arena. Lam Yuan's eyes widened, thinking, if in the end there has to be one person standing above the rest. That person, Lam Yuan shouted strongly, then let's go to the Ma Do Beast Academy. You wondered to yourself, why can't it be me, transitioning to the office of True Son Ha? Ngako angrily walked in on True Son Ha, but at this moment he just smiled warmly. What's up? Let me tell you, Lam Yuan has submitted his application to our school. You're out of chances now. Ngako grumbled, stop showing off your attitude. I respect that kid's decision. I want to ask if Tomo Teet also submitted her application to your school. Sun Ha looked surprised. Wow, you got the news fast. How do you know that girl? Ngako frowned and mysteriously reminded, it's just an acquaintance. Don't say I didn't warn you. When you get to the Ma Do Beast Academy, take care of her a bit. This girl's background is not simple. Sun Ha recalled their previous conversation. Lam Yuan politely asked, Mr. True, when will the resources for the Ma Do Beast Academy be distributed? He rubbed his temples. Usually after the enrollment announcement, it will be available, but I've requested it for you. It should be ready for you soon. Saying that, Sun Ha turned to Motit. Do you need your resources distributed early? She gently replied, I don't need it. Just distribute it as usual. He returned to reality, resting his chin and murmuring, that girl seems to not be as short on money as Lam Yuan. Ngako cautiously advised, I can't disclose the specifics, but just keep an eye on her. 3 days later, Lam Yuan stood at the gate, unable to help, but exclaim, I didn't expect the school's resources to be distributed so quickly. Hak Long spoke up, 500,000 in resources, 20 high-grade beast soul crystals, 5 beast spirit pills, and the beast god weapon, the Hak Kin armor of the beast general level. It slowly explained, these pieces of equipment can make your armor tougher, and the back will also be covered with sharp spikes. It seems this school really values you, huh? You can achieve the effectiveness of defense and counterattack. Hearing this, Lam Yuan smirked with satisfaction. These equipment aren't the main focus. The important thing is that 500,000 in subsidies, that's 50,000 low-grade soul crystals. 5 million evolution points. Inside the Beast Soul Shop, the manager impatiently questioned, here to exchange for low-quality soul crystals again. How many do you want to exchange this time? Lam Yuan calmly replied, I want to buy 500,000 low-grade beast soul crystals. As soon as he finished speaking, it felt like an electric current ran through his body. What the hell? Just a few minutes later, the goods were piled up in the back and the truck was fully loaded. Lam Yuan sat inside, happily waving his hand. Thanks. The manager, flustered, replied, no need to be polite. He watched the truck disappear, drenched in cold sweat. Buying that much. Are you planning to take all that home to feed the pigs? A few minutes later, at Lam Yuan's home, the pile of beast soul crystals was now stacked all over the floor. He crossed his arms, feeling exasperated. It wasn't convenient to give the driver the secret address of the warehouse, so he had to return home for now. But with so many crystals, how long do I need to maintain the fusion state to complete this? Black Dragon teased, then just stay at home. Absorb it in human form. After saying that, Lam Yuan looked very surprised. Is that really possible? Don't you need to fuse with the beast soul to absorb the energy of the crystals? He nodded. Usually that's how it is. But you have a system. You can use the system to maintain your human form to absorb. After hearing this, he couldn't hide the joy on his face. Why didn't you say so earlier? Black Dragon calmly replied. However, the absorption speed in human form will be slower than in beast form by a few minutes, but maintaining the beast form requires a huge amount of energy. This is still a good deal. Finally, Lam Yuan held a crystal in his palm, starting the absorption pose. Just like that, it didn't take long. The energy from the crystal spread throughout his body. Black Dragon excitedly cheered. You successfully absorbed nuclear radiation. You've gained 1,000 evolution points. Lam Yuan quietly looked at the clock beside him. 15 minutes. It was indeed slower than fusing with a beast soul by a bit. On average, he needed to absorb 84 crystals each day. Only then could he absorb all 5,000 of these. He had to keep track of time. The night sky in the city was incredibly peaceful. The bright stars appeared, making the scene even more vibrant. Lam Yuyan kept absorbing one crystal after another. Meanwhile, Black Dragon kept talking non-stop. During the absorption of radiation, his body underwent mutations, gaining a nuclear radiation resistance mechanism. He frowned. The nuclear radiation resistance mechanism confirmed that after his body acquired this mechanism, he wouldn't have to fear any radiation levels anymore. Lam Yuyan was very pleased with this news. Previously, many areas had used nuclear weapons to eliminate monsters. Now that his body had this mechanism, even if he entered a contaminated forbidden zone, he would be just fine. Great. After that, he clenched his fist proudly. There are still 2 months left. I will definitely absorb all of these crystals. Quickly increasing the strength. Transitioning to the conference room of the Beast Academy. All the staff are present. The man sitting in the middle is the principal of the Beast Academy. At that moment, the principal spoke slowly. Everyone, you've all worked hard these past few days. At this point, our enrollment efforts at the Beast Academy can be considered a complete success. He gently rubbed the surface of the list. The quality of this year's new students is significantly higher than last year. Of course, it's not just our school that is like this. Students from other top schools are just as outstanding. It seems this year we'll definitely see a lot of exceptional talents emerging. Then the principal sighed. However, waiting for these talents to grow up is truly a long process. If we really have to wait until then, I'm afraid I'll be retired by then. Speaking of this, he decisively stood up. So I've discussed it with the principals of other schools. The principal raised his hand and declared loudly, we've decided to organize a nationwide exchange competition to see who among these talents is the best. At that moment in the Beast Academy conference room, the staff were discussing animatedly. Organizing a big match is a good idea. It can gather talents from various schools in one place. Competing for superiority is just the right opportunity to let these talents prove they are the best. Knowing that there are always skies above the skies, there will always be someone more talented. But for new students just starting wasting time on aggressive competition isn't really suitable, right? The principal quickly spoke up to calm things down. Actually, the match has already been decided. I invited everyone here. He carefully emphasized, I hope you can provide a list. Suddenly, a lecturer from in school asked Principal Wang, how many people are needed for the competition list? He analyzed. Temporarily, it will be 12 people, 10 main members, and 2 substitutes. However, the devil offers a different method. I think we should just rely on the potential ranking to make a decision. He frowned in deep thought. The ranking is completely honest without any deceit. That's one of the 3 lists of motto. The new students who have been enrolled for less than a year are only qualified to challenge. Wang Ding let out a quiet sigh. If we rely on the potential ranking, how many mistakes could happen? Because it completely depends on actual combat ability. Just like our motto's top scholar, Tong Lam. His spirit beast, the 7-colored glass butterfly, is just a support type. Although his level has reached the spirit master level, he would still face disadvantages in a one-on-one battle. He might not even make it into the top 10 of the potential ranking. But that means Tong Lam's strength is weak. If he combines with a level 9 Spirit Master team, his abilities could definitely compete with a Beast King. Suddenly, Chang An stood up and spoke loudly. Principal, I understand your point. We can refer to the potential ranking, but we shouldn't rely solely on it, because in a major battle, there could be coordinated tactics. Right, Wang Ding replied excitedly. Exactly. He waved his hand to give orders. This is the first major competition nationwide which will be broadcasted across the country. It will also serve as a model for organizing future major competitions. Therefore, I hope everyone will think carefully and seize this opportunity. Show the style of our motto. Everyone else understood and nodded. A few minutes later, in the office of Zhao Shanha, Chang An scratched his head in confusion. Old Zhao, are you really satisfied with this recruitment? Laughing like that? Let me see. He took the list and read through it. This isn't that great. The talent of this person named Tu Mo Tuit isn't bad either. Wait a minute, what? Even someone with E-level talent has passed. Shanha said happily. Scroll down and take a look. At that moment, Chang An was shocked, his eyes wide open. Candidate Lam Huyen, Spirit Beast, Godzilla, E-level talent, 10 rounds of spirit training. How is that possible? He calmly waved his hand. If I wasn't there to supervise the exam, I wouldn't believe it either. Besides, this is his first time participating in spirit training. Chang'an was very curious at this point. What is so special about this kid? Shanha proudly replied, who knows, he might be a genius. I'm starting to look forward to what kind of power he will possess after the semester starts. In the evening at the apartment, Lam Yuyan's room was still brightly lit. The little black dragon was playfully flying around. Using your human terms, this is what you call hard training, right? Staying in one place like this for a month. Then it shouted loudly, you during the absorption process successfully comprehended the S-level skill Nuclear Breath. This name immediately made Lam Huyen stop. Nuclear Breath. The little black dragon slowly explained. Nuclear breath can emit beams of radiation. The light can reach temperatures of up to 550,000 degrees Celsius. Do you want to use 1 million evolution points to learn it? He nodded without hesitation. Of course I want to learn it. Lam Huyen thought to himself, 1 million evolution points for an S-level skill is worth it. After saying that, the little black dragon shouted, deducting 1 million evolution points. Successfully learned the S-level skill, Nuclear Breath. It continued to analyze. In this month, you have absorbed a total of 2,500 crystals. Now you still have 1,500,000 evolution points in reserve. Lam Huyen sighed. It proves that hard training is indeed worthwhile. Looking at this number of evolution points, check out this evolution score. How many levels can you help me advance? You shouted loudly at first, consuming 500,000 evolution points to upgrade the physique. Of course, Lam Huyen knew that for monsters this was crucial. The physique is definitely the most important. The black dragon was excited, spinning around. Lam Huyen pointed and said non-stop, consuming 200,000 evolution points to increase the hardness of the scale armor, consuming 200,000 evolution points to sharpen the claws, consuming 300,000 evolution points to increase the amount of biological nuclear reaction consumed. However, at this moment he suddenly stopped. The black dragon put his hands on his hips, looking at him. Now he had become outstanding among the Beast Commander ranks. Taking another step forward, he could reach the threshold of the Beast King level. He suddenly sighed, thinking that 1.5 million points could allow him to break through to the Beast King level in one go. But the result was only from 3 stars to 7 stars. Was I too greedy? The black dragon pointed to the bag behind him. He still had 2,500 low-level Soul Beast crystals. If he absorbed them all, he could at least convert them into 2.5 million points. That's evolution. Lam Huyen pursed his lips, wondering if these 2.5 million evolution points would be enough for him to break through to the Beast King level in one go. He didn't expect that within the Beast Commander level, leveling up was calculated in hundreds of thousands. He told himself that the Beast King and Beast Emperor levels behind were just for show. The black dragon puffed up his cheeks to reassure him. If the breakthrough didn't work, then he would have to use the high-quality Soul Beast crystals and the Beast Spirit pills he was holding. Just exchange them for the lowest-level crystals. It must be at least 80% certain. In the end, Lam Huyen raised the Soul Crystal high, boldly shouting his goal before starting. The Beast King level would be achieved in the blink of an eye a month later. Lam Huyen was holding a ticket, walking along the platform, when a clear voice suddenly rang out from behind, making him turn around. Lam Huyen Motit and Sun Ha waved cheerfully at him. Lam Huyen exclaimed in surprise, "Teacher Triu, what are you doing here?" He smiled and replied, "I came back home to work." Then Sun Ha spoke up, "Just in time to pick you up to report back to school." "Let's get on the bus first." Lam Huyen slowly approached. "Okay." A few minutes later, after getting on the train, Mo Tuyet curiously asked, "Where have you been for the past 2 months? Why didn't you reply to my messages?" Lam Huyen calmly explained, "I've been busy training, so I cut off all communication." Speaking of this, he glanced at her. "What about you? You must have been training hard too, right?" Mo Tweet proudly replied, "Of course, I not only successfully broke through to the Beast Commander level, but I also reached the 3-star Beast Commander level." However, she still pouted in anger. "But 2 months ago, you were already at the 3-star Beast Commander level." "Right, you must be much stronger now." "How annoying, I've worked so hard, yet I still can't catch up to you." Lam Weyan encouraged her. You're really impressive. Your rank has increased so much. After arriving at the door of a train compartment, Sun Ha leaned in and said, We're here. Inside the room was very spacious with many convenient items. He urged, Go ahead. Mo Tweet admired and exclaimed, This place is so well arranged. Lam Yuen pursed his lips calculating the usual seating on this train. It must be over 100,000. Teacher True even has a private room. Treating a soul beast master at the Lord level is indeed not ordinary. At that moment, Sun Ha suddenly instructed, It must be over 100,000, and yet there's even a private room for treating the soul beasts at the Lord level. Truly impressive. Suddenly the mountains and rivers seemed to whisper, If nothing unexpected happens, we should be able to reach the beast city by dusk. Do you not understand what nothing unexpected means? Mentioning this, his face darkened. This train runs through the middle of the route, and we might encounter situations where monsters are fighting. We call that the evening beasts. Sun Ha continued, So the unexpected mainly refers to evening beasts, or large numbers of Lord-level monsters surrounding the train, as well as situations as where fierce beasts attack the train. Lam Win responded, feeling confused. That sounds dangerous. Still, he smiled reassuringly. Don't worry too much. No matter what, the chances of that happening are very low. If it does happen, I'll risk my life to escort you and the train crew to safety. Even if I have to face a beast at the Emperor level, I can hold out for 5 minutes. The train continued to speed along. Lam Yuan wondered about the strength of true Sun Ha. How could he only hold off an Emperor-level beast for just 5 minutes? As he approached the window to observe for a while, it seemed that the existence of Emperor-level beasts was far more terrifying than he had imagined. Just then, a loud banging sound echoed outside the door. The anxious supervisor rushed to report, Mr. True, our Jada has detected a pack of evening beasts approaching us from 10 kilometers away, moving at an extremely fast speed. He trembled, struggling to speak, fearing that in 10 minutes, the supervisor's face turned pale, devoid of blood. In 10 minutes, we'll encounter the train. At that moment, Sun Ha tried to ask more. What is the scale of the evening beasts? The supervisor helplessly explained. There are about 3 beast kings, over 50 beast generals, and 200 to 300 combat beasts. Additionally, there are 2 beast spirit masters on the vehicle approaching here very quickly. Upon hearing this, he glanced at them. Do you 2 want to come along? This can be considered a small-scale evening beast encounter, not a major issue. Just think of it as practical training before the semester starts. Lam Win nodded seriously. All right, Mo Tweet shouted, then I'm going too. In the morning, the sky was clear with fluffy white clouds. At this moment, the train had stopped at a destination surrounded by many supervisors standing guard. The 3 of them quickly got off the train. He asked once more, Do you know how to ride this? Lam Win nodded. I think it should be fine. Mo Tweet looked confused. I've never ridden it before. Sun Ha jumped onto the vehicle without hesitation. It's fine. You and Lam Win can share one vehicle. Stay close to me. We're about to set off. With that, he revved the engine and took off. Lam Win couldn't help but murmur. He's already gone just like that. That's really irresponsible. Saying that, he turned around and urged, Get on. As soon as she sat down, she curiously asked Lam Yen, Do you really know how to drive? Lam Yen casually replied, I don't know, but this toy shouldn't be too hard. Just drive and learn right. Then he decisively pressed the accelerator. The machine roared to life, and the vehicle sped forward, its wheels cutting through the air and continuously releasing thick clouds of smoke. Lam Yen chuckled with delight, feeling proud. It's not much different from riding a motorcycle. The roaring sounds echoed throughout the rolling hills. Lam Yen cautiously asked the teacher True ahead, It must be the evening beasts, right? He replied, Before we engage, I must remind you 2. If you encounter a fierce beast that you can't handle, remember to keep your distance. Your safety is the most important thing, more than the training. With that, Sun Ha crossed his arms and jumped outside. Merging with the beast soul in an instant, he transformed into an enormous beast, majestic on the ground, surrounded by a swarm of fierce beasts that were continuously encircling Sun Ha. Merging with the beast soul in an instant, he transformed into an enormous beast, towering and majestic on the ground, surrounded by a swarm of fierce beasts that were closing in on the mountains and rivers. His hand suddenly burst forth with blazing sparks igniting the air. In just a second of hesitation, the mountains and rivers delivered a punch that felt like 1,000 pounds to the ground, and a thunderous explosion erupted. The ground trembled with each terrifying beat. Cracks resembling spiderwebs quickly appeared beneath his feet, growing larger by the moment. Then it swallowed the fierce beasts below, and soon after those cracks calmly closed up, restoring the ground to its flatness as if no rampage had ever occurred. The scene instantly left Lam Yuyan in shock. The ground was split in two, and a soul beast at the Lord level could achieve this much. So wouldn't a beast emperor be able to move mountains and fill seas, turning the world upside down? Yet the situation was far from over. In the distance, more fierce beasts appeared one after another. Mo Tuit and Lam Yuyan were not slow either, both shouting to merge their beast souls. Immediately their bodies became. The massive and agile forms of two giant beasts emerged. Mo Tuit continuously unleashed ice while Lam Yuyan diligently fought off each fierce beast one by one at that moment. A bizarre-looking fierce beast suddenly materialized behind Lam Yuyan. Mo Tuit reacted in time, summoning a layer of pure ice armor to envelop her body. Like an impenetrable diamond. After that, she fired sharp ice shards at it like a rain of arrows. Lam Yuyan ran quickly, but the fierce beast seemed unfazed, continuing to charge forward at high speed. This made Mo Tuit worry, thinking it was completely ineffective. At that moment, he used the flaming chain to counterattack, his claws glowing a deep red like lava from hell, igniting the air around him. At this moment, Lam Yuyan did not hesitate and brutally squeezed the fierce beast, finally slamming its grotesque body down, sending it flying like a piece of mindless debris. This scene immediately left Mo Tuit stunned. That hedgehog was at least a high-level beast general. Yet Lam Yuyan could take it down in one move. What exactly was his strength? The ship below continued to move at light speed. Inside the technical room, Han Fong hurriedly spoke up. "Senior, come over here and check this out. Is this inspection malfunctioning?" Van Thang replied suspiciously. "What malfunction? How could that be?" He asked in confusion. "By theory, shouldn't the bright points be beast kings?" "Wait, that's not right." However, Van Thang suddenly noticed something strange. This beast tide should only have 3 beast kings, so why are there 4 bright points? Han Fong pointed at it, and it disappeared. Van Thang anxiously shouted, "No, it seems there's still a beast king hiding its aura in the beast tide. We must quickly relay this information to the soul beast masters." Meanwhile, on the front lines, one of the beast soul masters had been harmed by a fierce beast to the point of being permanently unconscious. The entire mountainous space became eerily silent. Only the sound of the biting cold wind whistled painfully. The fierce beast's eyes gleamed with a strange light, its body radiating an incredibly peculiar magical force. Mo Tuit turned to ask Lam Yuyan, "How many beast generals have we killed in total?" He vaguely replied, "I don't know. I guess it's around 10 or so, right?" Just then, a swirling portal suddenly appeared in front of them, followed by a sharp object that violently shot out from within. A snake appeared out of nowhere. The sharp needle growled ominously as it got dangerously close to the snowy tomb, making her tense up completely. Lam Yuyan immediately reminded her to close her eyes and not let the blood splatter into them. Just as she finished speaking, a loud noise rang in her ears, followed by a spray of bright red liquid that filled the air with a foul stench. That was because Lam Yuyan had forcefully sliced off the arm of the ferocious beast. The black dragon appeared, explaining that this was a stealthy beast of the king, level skilled in hiding. Lam Yuyan nodded, understanding the implication. It seems there was a mix-up in the news. There's still a beast at the king level. Mo Tuit gasped and shouted, "What are you looking at that ferocious beast and cursing it out? You're just a coward, hiding your head and showing your tail, and you dare to feel embarrassed. Are you angry now?" Just as those words left his mouth, the hedgehog in front vanished without a trace, leaving behind a swirling mist. Mo Tuit cautiously reminded, "Be careful, it could appear out of nowhere." At that moment, the shadowy beast seized the opportunity and raised its hand to scream. Lam Yuyan glanced at it and recognized it immediately. However, the shadowy beast stubbornly charged forward to attack. Its tiny hand was pierced by Lam Yuyan's sharp quill. He rolled his eyes in annoyance. "I told you, you're just scratching an itch for me, aren't you?" In an instant, the shadowy beast jumped up in pain, its hand dripping with blood. But Lam Yuyan had no intention of letting it go. He grabbed the shadowy beast tightly, not giving it a chance to escape. Then Lum Win smiled excitedly. Now it's my turn, right? After saying that, he roughly pried its mouth open. The beast's eyes flashed with a fiery red spark. At that moment, Lum Win gathered the energy inside its mouth, ready to taste the flavor of the nuclear breath. He growled softly and without mercy, shot a beam of destructive light straight down its throat, burning it from the inside out. The scene immediately turned chaotic. Thick waves of fire continuously engulfed a corner of the sky. At that moment, Son Ha slowly approached, startled by the scene. Lum Win calmly bent down to pick up the soul crystal. I wonder how much a king-level crystal can sell for. At this moment, he looked very confused. How did you manage to kill this shadowy beast? Hearing this, Lum Win immediately became alert and hid it behind his back. Didn't you see it earlier, teacher? However, Son Ha remained serious and pressed on. I'm not concerned about your crystal. Honestly, tell me, what level are you at now? He lowered his head, avoiding the question. I just broke through to king level, but it's only the first star. The teacher's eyes widened in disbelief. How did you manage that? When I was training, I was still at the 3-star commander level. In just 2 short months, you've broken through to king level. Finally, Lum Win had to lean in and whisper, Teacher, this is my secret. Please don't reveal it. Actually, I can absorb the radiation from the low-quality crystal. At that moment, Motit rushed over from afar, worried. Lum Uyen, are you okay? You have to be okay. She clutched her chest, breathing a sigh of relief. Thank goodness you were there just now. Otherwise, I would have lost my life. Lum Win gently reassured her. Actually, your strength is even more than that. You were just too flustered to react. Son Ha, beside them, completely agreed with Motit. After all, it's your first time experiencing this. A little panic is only natural. Motit pursed her lips and replied firmly, Teacher Lum Wien is right. Unexpected situations can happen on the battlefield at any time. You should do better so that you don't drag your teammates down. Saying that, the two of them turned to look at each other and smiled happily. Son Ha couldn't help but stroke his chin, muttering to himself, This kid is truly extraordinary. It was already afternoon and the sunset was descending. The train continued to move quickly. Son Ha looked at his back, lost in thought. I never expected this kid could absorb radiation. This kind of energy, this kind of talent, is something unprecedented in the world of soul beasts. Isn't he a genius, as the principal said? At that moment, he slowly walked over and brought out a trophy. This time, I collected all the storage badges. Once I'm done at the Soul Beast Hall, I'll take care of it. I'll give you the money. Lum Wien was surprised when the storage badge was mentioned. Sun Ha suddenly whispered, Oh right, I haven't used this yet. At the level of a Beast King, I can request a bronze storage badge from the Soul Beast Hall, but the 1 million crafting fee only gives you 10 spaces. You spent your money on low-quality crystals, right? If needed, can I borrow from you? Then you nodded in understanding. Thanks for letting me know, that's really useful. I'll definitely consider making one. Sun Ha confidently declared, Don't worry, the strength of the demon beast is great. We absolutely have no shortage of resources. Money is not a big deal. If you can get into the top 10 of the potential rankings, you'll get to choose your own dorm room and have more opportunities. The representative of the demon beast will participate in the national freshman competition. Lum Uyen seriously spoke. The potential rankings, I know about that. At that moment, Mo Tweet was also awakened by the noise from the two of them. She tiredly rubbed her eyes and asked, Does the school have that much money? Aren't dorms supposed to be private? It's quite inconvenient for us to train, he calmly explained. The dorm is just a place to sleep and rest. Students can go to the specialized training room, which is open 24 hours for free. Lum Wien sighed in relief upon hearing that. Thank goodness there's a training room otherwise. Absorbing crystals in the dorm would be too noticeable. Sun Ha continued, If you really want a single room, there's a very simple way. Donate 5 million to the school. In 4 years, you can have a private room with a private yard. After saying that, Lum Wien was so shocked that he jumped. 5 million. Why not just go rob a bank? However, Mo Tweet was completely the opposite. She excitedly shouted, 5 million is enough. The other person's attitude made Lum Wien very suspicious. What kind of background does his family have that night in the dormitory of the Demon Beast Academy? The dark sky was dotted with bright stars, making it even more peaceful. At that moment, Lam Uyen stood in front of a room telling himself, before getting into the top 10 of the potential rankings, I should just stay honest in the dorm. Luckily, Tomo Teet also decided to stay in the dorm. Even if she had money, she wouldn't spend it like that. After thinking it through, he immediately pushed the door open. At that moment, a guy standing right in front greeted him warmly. Hey, are you the new roommate? Hello, I'm Trio Min. He smiled and introduced himself as a freshman from the Soul Beast department majoring in the 8th level of the Rutsa. Lumwin also gently replied, I'm Lumwin from Tran High City. Another friend appeared in the room. You're the best from Chan High City, right? Oh, you're Lumwin who applied to the Demon Beast Academy with an E-level Soul Beast, right? Lumwin was surprised. You know me. He was casually eating a snack and licking his lips. I don't know you, but I did look at your profile. Dude, your brother is really impressive. This immediately made Lum Uyen's eyes widen. You looked at my profile? Where did you see it? Is the profile of freshman publicly accessible? He sprawled on the bed and calmly confirmed, of course I have my own ways. He sprawled out on the bed, calmly confirming, of course I have my own way. In this school, there's nothing that Vung Kim Trak doesn't know. Truman Cow chimed in. This chubby guy is really good at gathering information. Kim Trak was thrilled to be praised. If you want to know anything, I can tell you. Of course, information comes at a price. The cost of information is definitely unavoidable. Lum Wien asked without hesitation, so do you have the list for the Team Long rankings? Then he realized that Kim Trak was actually a news dealer. After saying that, Kim Trak leaned down and teased, Big brother, huh? It's only the first day of school. How could the TM Long rankings be established so quickly? But if you're interested, I can give you a list that records the new students who might be ranked in the potential rankings. Lamween pursed his lips in curiosity. How much is this list? He grinned widely. Since you're my roommate, I'll give you a discount. After the 20% discount, just give me 4,000. The card number is right here. Lamween couldn't help but sigh inwardly. What a caring news dealer. But how did he get all this information? A few minutes later, after finishing the transaction. At this moment, he neatly packed his things and calmly sat down on the chair. On the paper was the list of students who could potentially be ranked. Thukting Hon Tunanbak estimated strength at Beast King, level 1 star, Tran Mok. Thukting Hon Tu Tenbik Iotu estimated strength at Beast General level 9 stars. O Huyen Ko Thukting Hon Tu Red Vung Canh Vang estimated strength at Beast King level 3 stars. Triu Ming Thukting Hon Tu Bat Roksa estimated strength at Beast General level 3 stars. Tung Lam Thukting Hon Tu Luli Diep Basic estimated strength at Beast King level 2 stars. Lum Win seriously reviewed the list. This Motto 2 is truly a hidden gem among the new students. There are so many Beast Kings here. Even True Min, who looks very approachable, is already a Beast General level 8 star. Curiously about his own strength, Vung Kim Trek's loud voice rang out. Our last roommate has arrived. Both True Min and Kim Trok turned their heads toward the door. A tall guy was slowly pulling a suitcase in. His face was dark and he had a rather unfriendly expression. Hello everyone, I'm Tong Lam. I hope to get along well. The three of them thought to themselves, he seems really fierce. However, Trio Min suddenly stopped. Tong Lam, you're the best of this year's Ma Do. Kim Trak excitedly shouted, and I get to share a dorm with the best in the city. What an honor. Lum Win turned his head to observe a little longer as soon as he heard this name. He is Tong Lam, whose auxiliary spirit beast is the Lu Li Diep Basak. If I remember correctly, the talent rating for this type of spirit beast is SSS level. At that moment, Kim Trak jumped off the bed and promoted Tong Lam. Hey bro, if you want to know any news, just come to me. I'll give you a 20% discount. Or if you have any news, you can sell it to me. The price is totally fair. Behind him, True Min shouted, all right, first stop your news trading antics. Everyone is here now. How about we all go out for a meal together? What do you think? Lum Yuen He leaned away from his spot and smirked. Sounds good. Lum Wien carefully thought back. His roommates were not simple at all. One had an 8th level spirit beast, and another had a 3rd level spirit king. Plus, there was a news trader among them. The scene shifted to outside the dormitory where 4 boys walked side by side chatting noisily. Triu Min spread his arms and exclaimed, becoming a master of magical beasts has always been my dream. I've finally achieved this wish. Feeling like he was dreaming, Kim Track casually interrupted, "Even if it's a dream, it's fine now. Just don't dream when it's time to settle up." Just then, 2 female students appeared walking towards them. The gentle moonlight shone down, making the scene even more picturesque. Kim Track closed his eyes and spoke about the girl on the left. He introduced her as Du-Ten-Tu, a snow silk spirit beast of S rank. The more beautiful girl on the right was To-Mo-Tit, a 9-tailed snow fox spirit beast of S rank. True Min looked over in astonishment. "How do you know so much?" Kim Track was thrilled to be praised, his nose flaring up. "You wouldn't understand the power of that intel." At that moment, Mo-Tit was also drawn to the noise from the boys. As soon as she saw him, she jumped up in excitement. "La Muyen! It's been a while." La Muyen stepped forward to shake her hand, asking, "What are you talking about? Aren't we meeting again this afternoon?" Mo-Tit laughed. "We haven't been apart for long. Right? This is my roommate, Du-Ten-Tu." She nodded. "Nice to meet you." The scene in front of Kim Track left him speechless. "They know each other." Trio Min tilted his head in confusion. "Aren't you the intel guy?" "How would I know that?" He helplessly retorted, "I gather intel, not play matchmaker. How would I know what's going on between them?" At this moment, Lum Uyen cheerfully introduced, "This is my roommate, Vung Kim Tret Trio Min and Tong Lam." Kim Trake stood up enthusiastically and asked, "Are you guys going to eat? Want to join us?" However, Mo-Tit shyly declined. "Not today. I have plans for dinner with my roommates. Maybe another time." He nodded, understanding. "All right, see you." After they walked away, Kim Track was very surprised. "How do you know To-Mo-Tit? You two seem really close." Lum Uyen turned around feeling playful. "Turns out there's still something you don't know, huh? Want me to sell it to you? Friendly price, 20% off." He was stunned. "Huh?" With that, a burst of laughter erupted from the group of boys. Lum Uyen thought to himself that life on campus was quite interesting. In the blink of an eye, 2 hours had passed. At this moment, Lum Uyen was sitting in the school's training room. He wanted to return to rest with them, but he couldn't slack off in his cultivation. Besides, there were many powerful figures in the school. Hak Long soared joyfully. The energy concentration here was quite high, making it very suitable for training. He closed his eyes and thought this was a free beginner training room, but there were also intermediate and advanced training rooms that charged fees. The energy concentration there was even higher. He couldn't help but mutter, "But it's too expensive." The intermediate room costs 1,000 NDT per hour, while the advanced room costs a whopping 5,000 NDT per hour. Hak Long carefully observed the system board and assessed. "Unfortunately, all your crystals are of poor quality. It's all been absorbed. Now only the high-level Soul Beast crystal and the Spirit Beast pill are left." Hearing that, La Muyen shouted, "Let me try the high-level crystal and see how many evolution points I can get." He immediately gave a thumbs up. "Congratulations, you've achieved 1,000 evolution points. The effect is exactly the same as the lower quality." La Muyen frowned in disappointment, thinking about the 10,000 wasted. However, the Black Dragon threw out a pill and reassured him, "It's okay, there's still the Spirit Beast pill." As soon as he swallowed it, Lam Uyen felt a jolt of electricity coursing through his body. The Black Dragon jumped up joyfully. "Congratulations, you've successfully absorbed the Spirit Beast pill, gaining 1 talent." He looked up at it, thinking to himself about the personal attribute board of the system. It seems there isn't a talent attribute. Could this be a hidden attribute? The Black Dragon explained loudly, "The talent can speed up your absorption rate. This one can increase the speed by about 5 times. He lowered his head to confirm. He could indeed feel it. The energy absorption speed was faster. Then it cheerfully encouraged him, "And I'm here too. You don't need to limit yourself to just 1 pill a month. Take as many as you can absorb." However, La Muyen couldn't help but murmur, "This Spirit Beast pill is really good, but it's so expensive it costs 50,000. The next morning in the dormitory, the sky was incredibly clear and refreshing. At that moment, Lam Yuyin sat on the bed looking over at Kim Track. Where have those two gone so early in the morning? He was still busy researching something. They must have gone to the training room. Hearing that, he became pensive. It seems I'm not the only one working hard. Lam Yuyin pursed his lips, determined to make the most of his time to go to the Soul Beast Hall and buy a batch of lower quality crystals. Just then, his phone unexpectedly rang. Hello, the voice on the other end urged. Determined to rush to the Spirit Beast Hall to buy a batch of low-grade crystals, just then, his phone unexpectedly rang. Hello, the voice on the other end urged. Hello, Lam Wuyen. Are you up? Come here to collect your money? A little later, in a secluded spot of the campus, Triu Son Ha slowly spoke. The crystals from the Spirit Beasts have all been processed. Your share totals 220,000. Lam Wuyen felt relieved, thinking that was quite a lot, just enough to alleviate his urgent situation. He smiled and continued. Also, I exchanged 100,000 for 10,000 Spirit Beast crystals of lower quality, and the remaining money is all in this badge. It amounted to 10,000 Spirit Beast crystals, low-grade crystals, and the remaining money was all in this badge. For now, I'll lend it to you. Lam Wuyen obediently replied, Thank you, Teacher Triu. He thought to himself that Triu Son Ha was truly someone he could trust. With that in mind, Lam Wuyen gently asked, Teacher Triu, could you help me with one more thing? I want to exchange all the remaining 120,000 for Spirit Beast pills. Son Ha was surprised. That should be enough to buy 24 Spirit Beast pills. Normally, that would last you 2 years. Why do you suddenly want to buy so many? He didn't answer right away, but reassured the teacher, Don't worry, I know my limits. Hearing that, he finally agreed. All right, I'll make another trip to the Soul Beast Hall. You just focus on your training. In a few days, the potential ranking list will be announced. Then Son Ha excitedly patted him on the shoulder. He didn't answer right away, but reassured the teacher not to worry. I know my limits. Hearing this, the teacher finally agreed. As long as you make it into the top 10, I'll give you the chance to represent the academy in the new student competition. Lam Wuyen declared confidently, I understand. At this point, his gaze became incredibly sharp. His goal wasn't just the top 10. It was to be at the top of the potential ranking. Not long after the sky began to show warm rays of sunlight, Lam Wuyen continued to sit in the training room while the black dragon noisily flew around. Congratulations, you've successfully absorbed the radiation. You've gained 1,000 evolution points. This time, it only took 10 minutes. Upon hearing this, he was stunned. Could it be because of the 5 Spirit Beast pills he received as a reward? They not only sped things up. Achieving 1,000 evolution points this time only took 10 minutes. Upon hearing this, he was taken aback. Could it be due to the 5 Spirit pills he received as a reward that not only sped things up? The speed of energy absorption in the atmosphere has increased, and so has the absorption rate of the crystals. He said in a high voice, Actually, I'm not quite sure. Wait until that teacher sends over the batch of spirit pills, then you can check again. Lam Wuyen firmly replied with a, The urgent matter now is to continue absorbing the crystals to enhance one's strength. Time passed minute by minute, and the pile of crystals was still overflowing. Day by day, they gradually diminished, little by little. The beams of light from the crystals illuminated the entire room. Time continued to flow, and soon the pile of crystals was hardly left. A few days later, Lam Wuyen was bringing breakfast back to the dorm. What caught his eye was the sight of 3 people standing around. Lam Wuyen looked confused. Is there something special today? Why are there so many people? He thought to himself. Normally, these 3 would leave early and come back late. Except for Vuong Kimtrak, who gathers information, the other 2 are the kings of training. Kimtrak spoke up to remind him, Today is the freshman tournament. You've been training every day and didn't even notice. Did you forget about this? Hearing that, Lam Wuyen jolted, realizing he really had forgotten. He grinned playfully. You guys are all monsters in training. It seems like everyone wants to make it into the top 10 of the rankings. Tim Long, huh? Zhao Ming interjected. Come on, my strength is only at the beast. General level ranked 9 stars. Just making it into the top 100 is good enough for me. But with Tong Lam's strength, he should be able to make it. Top 10 in the Team Long rankings, right? Tong Lam scratched his head in confusion. Even though I'm a beast master at the Beast King level, I awaken the Dragon Soul Beast for support, but I'm not good at fighting. Moreover, the Ma Do Beast Academy has many talented individuals. I don't have much confidence. Lam Wuyen glanced at all of them, feeling a surge of excitement. It seems like this year's competition is going to be fierce. He resolved to train hard. The scene shifted to an auditorium filled with the noise of chatter. It was said that the principal Vuong Ding would personally deliver a speech at the freshman tournament. Principal Vuong Ding is a beast master at the beast level. His personal attendance shows how much he values us. Don't you know? This year, a friendly match will be held for freshmen nationwide, representing the prestigious schools. They must select students to represent the ManhwaCapped Academy, so the principal takes it very seriously. Just as Lam Uyen settled into his seat, a hand unexpectedly landed on his shoulder. Lam Uyen exclaimed in surprise, "Teacher Zhao, what are you doing here?" He casually replied, "At the freshman tournament, aside from you freshmen, we teachers also have to participate," saying that Sun Ha looked over at the boys next to him. "These must be your roommates, right?" Kim Trek cheerfully greeted Teacher Zhao. "I've admired you for a long time." Lam Uyen pointed to introduce Teacher Zhao. "This is my roommate Vuong Kim Trak. He specializes in intelligence work." Sun Ha couldn't help but laugh. Doing intelligence work truly like father like son. Kim Trek raised his eyebrows in admiration. "Teacher Zhao, you flatter me." Lam Yun was surprised. You two know each other, but he didn't answer immediately, only laughed. "His father is a big figure. You'll find out soon enough. I have to go now." After Sun Ha left, Zhao Ming quietly asked, "Who is this?" He recounted, Zhao Sun Ha, a beast master at the Lord level 8 stars, one of the most anticipated to break through to the Beast Emperor level. Just then, applause suddenly erupted around the auditorium. "Look, here comes the principal." Lam Uyen was startled when he heard the name. He immediately turned to look at his friend who was still snoring. "Wait, Vuong Ding. Could it be that Vuong Kim Trak is the son of Vuong Ding? I can't believe it." Vuong Ding stood at the podium, seriously addressing the teachers and students of ManhwaCapped Academy. "I am the principal of ManhwaCapped Academy, Vuong Ding. I'm very glad to meet everyone here. You are the freshmen of ManhwaCapped Academy and also the hope for the future of ManhwaCapped Academy." He carefully recounted that soon the team-long rankings of ManhwaCapped Academy would officially be revealed to all students. "You will enter the first round. The higher your ranking, the more generous the rewards you will receive." His powerful voice echoed throughout the auditorium. "Destiny always lies in your own hands. Talent is not everything. As long as you fight for it, you can change your fate," Vuong Ding said with a frown. "The powerful will battle the demon beasts. We are the school with the highest mortality rate, but every student here is present. If you've chosen us, then you're strong," he said firmly. "There will be no fools or cowards here. Do you all agree?" All the students stood up in unison, cheering. Finally, the rankings of the Hidden Dragon have been announced. Below, the crowd rushed out to observe. The list displayed each name. First place, the Ancient Spirit Beast, the Golden Winged Scorpion. Second place, the Silver Fang Spirit Beast. Third place, the Leaf Flame Violent Tiger. 10th place, the Godzilla Spirit Beast. The 7-colored butterfly Spirit Beast. Lin Yuan read aloud, sighing in admiration. "I must say the information from Wang Jinjai is still very useful. It's basically all predictable." At that moment, he scanned below. "What about my ranking?" The notice board clearly showed a rank of 312. Lin Yuan, the Godzilla Spirit Beast, felt disheartened. How could it be so low? Lin Yuan bit his lip, his mind racing. The demon beasts are indeed filled with countless geniuses. In this place where monsters roam based on my performance through the 10 trials, I only ranked here. Then he bowed his head deeply, his eyes flashing with complexity. But what are the specific rules of this hidden dragon ranking? Suddenly, the black dragon appeared, clinging to his shoulder. I know it explained while flying around. First, only those with lower ranks can challenge higher ranks, and the rank difference between both sides cannot exceed 20. Second, each person has only one opportunity to challenge each day, and the challenge cannot refuse 3 times in a row. Third, each person has 1 chance per week to challenge a higher rank, with the rank difference expanded to 100. Fourth, the use of prohibited substances is strictly forbidden, and the spirit weapons used must match one's own level. Fifth, during a challenge, if one side surrenders or loses the ability to fight, it must end immediately. Finally, the Black Dragon assessed based on our current rankings to reach the top of the Hidden Dragon. It usually takes about 16 days. Lin Yuan regretted thinking to himself that if he leveled up, the time could be cut down by more than half. At that moment, the atmosphere behind him suddenly became very lively. Who is this ancient spirit? Just announced and already in first place. That's impressive. If he's still in first place 7 days later, then I'll truly admire him. I think just in 3 days, the rankings of the Hidden Dragon will definitely shake up. With that, Lin Yuan decided to lift his foot and leave. Exactly in these few days, the competition for ranks will definitely be fierce. I must cast aside distractions and continue to focus on training. Zhao Ming couldn't help but curiously watch Lin Yuan. He really is a strange person. To be able to calmly train at a time like this is truly intriguing. Jin Jai murmured, I once wanted to buy information from him for $1 million, but he rejected me. He recalled Lin Yuan's words back then, saying that when I reach the top of the Hidden Dragon, we can discuss the value of my information. Then Jin Jai looked at Lin Yuan's back gradually blending into the crowd, wondering. Clearly his goal is to compete for first place in the Hidden Dragon. He's a hidden talent waiting for the right moment to act. Just how terrifying is this kid's strength? Transitioning to the training room, the Black Dragon carefully confirmed this is the spirit pill that Zhao Shanhei sent you. A total of 24 pills. Do you want to use them all at once? Lin Yuan smiled down. I'll try them one by one. With that, he poured all of them into his mouth, without hesitation. At that moment, a dazzling bolt of electricity shot down his throat. The Black Dragon, seeing this scene, jumped up excitedly. Congratulations, you've successfully absorbed the spirit pill. Lin Yuan smiled down. I'll try them one by one. With that, he poured all of them into his mouth, without hesitation. At that very moment, a bright bolt of electricity shot down Lin Yuan's throat. The Black Dragon, seeing this scene, jumped up excitedly, congratulating him on successfully absorbing the spirit pill. You've achieved a talent boost. Congratulations on successfully absorbing the spirit beast Lin Dan. It announced that you finished absorbing and gained 10 talent points. Lin Yuan nodded, clearly pleased. The energy absorption rate has increased significantly, it said. You immediately poured all the crystals onto the floor. Now let's check the absorption rate of the lower quality spirit beast crystals. It might improve as well. Lin Yuan picked up each one carefully. As he diligently cultivated, a bright stream of energy swirled around the room. In just a blink, 7 minutes had passed. Hack Long cheered joyfully, congratulating you on successfully absorbing the radiation beam. You've reached 100 meters of evolution points. He carefully recalculated. 7 minutes earlier was actually 10 minutes. Lin Yuan happily clenched his fist. Looks like my guess was right. Now my absorption efficiency has risen to a new level. Just then his phone in his pocket suddenly rang. Lin Yuan quickly answered. Hello. Urgently, Lin Yuan was told. 10 minutes later, in arena number 3, the top-ranked Oh Huyen Ko will challenge the third-ranked Vung Lun Ho. Hurry over. Hearing this, Lin Yuan jumped up excitedly. A match between the top and third place. I'm coming right away. The scene shifted to the arena number 3 of the Spirit Beast Grand Tournament. The atmosphere was filled with cheers from the crowd. As soon as he stepped in, a loud voice rang out. Lin Yuan is here. Sun Ha waved from below, signaling continuously. At that moment, Trung An couldn't help but tease. True, Sun Ha, you really treat this kid like a treasure. You even have to bring him along to watch a match. Why not just tie him to your waist? Sun Ha, losing patience, interrupted Trung An. If his mouth can't talk, then he can give it to someone who needs it. Then he introduced, this is Mon Trung An, my friend, and also one of the teachers at the Spirit Beast Academy. Lin Yuan politely greeted, hello, teacher man. Trung An stroked his chin and said, so you are Lin Yuan. Old True often mentions you to me. Haven't you decided on a mentor yet? Why not consider being my student? Sun Ha immediately scolded, I called you out to watch the match, not to stir up trouble. However, he leaned in to whisper, but also mention Vung Lun Ho and Oh Huyen Ko. This time, who has a better chance of winning? He frowned and asked, how would I know? I don't know these two. Trung An looked at Lin Yuan, inquiring, what do you think? You shook your head hesitantly. I don't really know much about them. Just then, the entire audience suddenly became more excited than ever. They're here, everyone, look. This person is ranked 3rd. It's Vung Lun Ho. The crowd continued to cheer loudly. Facing him is the top-ranked monster, Oh Huyen Ko. The referee in the middle also spoke up. This match is between Vung Lun Ho, the 3rd-ranked in the Team Long list, challenging Oh Huyen Ko, the 1st-ranked in the Team Long list. I declare the match officially begins. After the referee stepped back, Oh Huyen Ko smirked provocatively. You're the first to challenge me. Do you think I'm weak? However, Vung Lun Ho was not to be outdone. He continuously cracked his knuckles. The top spot in the team long list belongs to me. The more he heard, the more ridiculous it seemed. So, I guess I have to teach this kid a lesson. You think you're right. How good of you. With that, Oh Huyenko shouted loudly, "Merge with the spirit beast." Lam Uyin widened his eyes, silently assessing, this is the SSS level Golden Wing killing beast. What power! However, the Lin Tiger was not to be outdone. He continuously cracked his knuckles, claiming the top spot on the leaderboard belongs to me. The more he heard, the more ridiculous it felt. So I have to teach that kid a lesson. Thinking he was right, he said, "You're really something." With that, Huyenko shouted loudly, "Merge the spirit beast." Lam Uyin widened his eyes, silently assessing. This was the SSS-level golden-winged killing spirit beast. The power of this. The ancient beast's power is at least at the level of a king beast. Its entire body glows fiercely. It seems there are worthy opponents in the demon beast arena. He stands tall and proud. His body shows off powerful bulging muscles. Merging with the beast spirit amidst the deafening cheers, only Lam Uyin remains silent, holding his ground. He furrows his brows, observing with curiosity. The king beast is also at the king level. Who will win in the end? They stand facing each other. The arena is shrouded in thick, hazy smoke. Trong-an can't help but shout, "These two kids! They seem quite impressive. When I was their age, I didn't have such strength." Sun Ha raises an eyebrow, saying he had told him long ago. This year's newcomers are no joke. One is even more terrifying than the other. The king beast roars, shaking the space. Its internal power begins to condense in its mouth. The energy sphere grows larger, emitting a blinding white light. Just as its power peaks, he decisively launches a devastating shot. It shoots off with terrifying destructive force. At this moment, Huyenko merely twists and turns a few basic moves, easily evading. Dodging all of the king beast's attacks once done, Huyenko disdainfully asks if that's all the skill he has. However, the king beast isn't ready to give up. "Wait until you beat me before you talk like that." With that, he leaps forward. Huyenko's eyes instinctively shine like a predator. The king beast tightly grips the slender arm of the centipede. In an instant, a viscous green liquid continuously sprays out. Lam Uyin furrows his brows, thinking to himself about the beast spirit of the king, Beast the Violent Flame. Its physical strength, speed, and explosive power are all flawless. The speed is so fast that even Huyenko might not fully escape, but over by the two instructors. Trong-an comments that the king beast is very cautious, probing the opponent from a distance before quickly closing the gap, catching the opponent off guard. Sun Ha nods in approval, noting that at this age they already have such combat intuition. Not bad at all. He rests his chin, pondering the current situation. The top of the hidden dragon ranking Huyenko is somewhat famous, but not particularly powerful. Sun Ha shouts to remind Lam Uyin, watching them fight, "Do you feel the pressure? If you want to climb to the top of the hidden dragon ranking, you can't overlook them." Trong-an purses his lips, secretly amazed that this kid aims for the top spot, even though passing the beast training assessment to enter the demon beast arena is no easy feat. But to aim for the top of the hidden dragon ranking, that thought is a bit insane. Suddenly, Lam Uyin blurts out, "It's a trap." He is startled. "What did you say? Repeat that the king beast has fallen for it." "It's a trap set by Huyenko." Hearing this, Trong-an becomes even tenser. "How do you know it's a trap?" At this moment, the king beast keeps charging forward, its body engulfed in fierce flames. He squints, carefully calculating. Just one final move is missing. However, at that moment, a flash of light suddenly appears surrounding the king beast. He angrily shouts, "Get out of my way!" Huyenko's flexible body and sturdy legs successfully grip the king beast, rendering it unable to struggle. The king beast, furious, turns its head and growls, "Get off me!" Huyenko's eyes flash with a deadly glint. He has no intention of letting go, tightening his grip on the king beast's body. Streams of dark red liquid burst out. Huyenko slightly opens his mouth again, then spits out a viscous green substance aggressively forward. They slip right into the king beast's nostrils, causing it to roll its eyes in shock at this scene. Trong-an looks over in surprise. "Did you really get it right? How did you know this was a trap set by Huyenko?" Lam Uyin seriously explains that under the circumstances of not fully understanding the opponent's strength, actively showing the enemy a weakness is the best way to set a trap. After all, Huyenko is at the top of the Hidden Dragon ranking, not to mention whether his strength matches that ranking. But his combat intuition might not be inferior to the king beasts. Hearing this, Sun Ha secretly admires, surprised by Lam Yuyan's keen observation skills. We often overlook these details when we take on the mindset of an audience. But Lam Yuyan was completely immersed in it, not at all superficial. He thought for a moment and then patted the shoulder of Trong An, saying, "You can't be serious. The judgment of the teacher is even surpassed by the younger generation now. You still have the face to tell me you can't even see it yourself." Then Sun Ha burst out laughing. "I really can't see it, but my student can." He sighed in exasperation. "You really treat that kid like a treasure, huh? But that kid does have talent. However, things are far from over." Lan Ho continued to glare with intense hatred. He began to unleash a searing wave of power throughout the space, making the scene even more chaotic. The flickering flames immediately caught Huyenko's attention. "Let him go!" Then he stepped back a few paces. After that, Lan Ho lunged down, bringing with him an indescribable pressure, delivering a devastating punch to Huyenko. The green liquid shot out once again, causing everyone to stand up in shock. Oh my God, is Huyenko about to lose? In this kind of situation, he can still turn the tide. This Lan Ho is really strong. That's right, but the Violent Tiger and Fiery Flame are just SS-level spirit beasts. If we only compare innate talent, they still fall short of the golden-winged Scorpion King. Trong An asked in a deep voice, "Lam Yuyan, do you feel like Huyenko is about to lose?" He calmly replied, "No." Lam Yuyan's gaze suddenly sharpened. He confidently asserted that Lan Ho was about to lose. At this point, Trong An looked extremely confused. "Lan Ho wants to give up. How can you be so sure? Isn't it obvious that Lan Ho is currently in the dominant position?" Lam Yuyan tilted his head playfully. "You can't possibly not see that? You must want to take this opportunity to test me right." Sun Ha gently spoke, "Your little brat really is something. No way he could slip past your eyes." Lam Yuyan carefully analyzed. Although Lan Ho's attack power is very strong, he's also incredibly hasty. He was poisoned earlier. It must be about to take effect. According to his words, Lan Ho suddenly breathed heavily in an unusual manner. Huyenko taunted, "Give up. You have no more chances. Now's the time to go to the infirmary to neutralize that poison. Maybe there's still time, otherwise I won't take responsibility." However, he stubbornly shouted, "I can't lose." With that, the flames on Lan Ho's body blazed even more fiercely. He leaped up without hesitation. Huyenko disdainfully sneered at the foolishness of not knowing when to quit. Then he used his sturdy tail to strike directly at Lan Ho's suspended body. Lan Ho lost his balance and fell backward, his face smashing into the ground, blood flowing freely. Lam Yuyan silently assessed. Since Lan Ho fell into Huyenko's trap, his defeat was already predetermined. Although Huyenko could maintain the top position, there would definitely be stronger challengers behind. The referee immediately raised his hand and called out, "Huyenko wins." At that moment, Sun Ha couldn't help but frown. What a pity. If Lan Ho hadn't been poisoned, this battle would have been much more interesting. Trong An raised an eyebrow, looking towards Lam Yuyan. If he had your judgment skills, the outcome of this match would have been different. He thought to himself, this kid is clearly a new student, but has the keen observation skills of a seasoned hunter. That talent is truly frightening. Sun Ha called out to Lam Yuyan in a serious tone, "Do you know why I called you here to watch this match?" You replied earnestly, "You want me to see the talents of the other new students, right?" He nodded, acknowledging, "That's right. You need to clearly understand your true position and recognize the real strength of your opponents. You must strive to keep improving. To stand at the top of the leaderboard, you can't forget these things." Lam Yuyan smiled politely. "I understand." "Thank you so much, teacher." Transitioning to an hour later in the break room, Hak Long curiously asked Han, "What do you think of the competition?" Lam Yuyan sat down on the floor, exclaiming, "The strength that Oh Huyenko displayed is the standard level of a level 4 Beast King. Even if Oh Huyenko isn't a level 4 Beast King, it's definitely at the highest tier of a level 3 Beast King." He recalled every detail, remembering how Vung Lin Ho excelled in brute force and could easily manipulate Shikvim. As for the unique ability of Oh Huyenko, it was the release of toxic smoke. Based on these unique traits in actual combat, his strength would surely surpass others of the same level. Hak Long agreed. No wonder he's at the top of the Team Long leaderboard. Lam Nguyen continued to speculate, moreover, that Oh Huyen Ko must have other trump cards to reach first place. I wonder if Vung Kim Tret can reach this level. Hak Long probed. He asked, if you were to face each other, how confident are you in winning? Lam Nguyen lowered his head slightly, his voice dropping a bit. 3 out of 7, I have the advantage in combat skills and instincts. But if I were to face him, there would definitely be a gap. Not to mention Oh Huyen Ko. Hak Long interjected, their soul beasts are all at level S or higher. Truly a genius. But your system can compensate for those weaknesses. At that point, you might not necessarily lose to them. Lam Nguyen's eyes lit up. I'll work even harder to close the gap. In less than a month, the national competition will be here. I have to qualify for it, he reminded himself. Moreover, you still have over 1 million unused evolution points. At the very least, you can evolve to a level 2 Beast King. Lam Nguyen nodded and held out a few crystals. Let's continue training. Hak Long agreed. 7 days later, gentle sunlight bathed the world. Inside the training room, Lam Nguyen sat there diligently absorbing energy. A few minutes later, he suddenly exhaled a long puff of smoke while Hak Long excitedly pointed at the notification board. So many evolution points. Since breaking through to level 1 Beast King, I've accumulated over 3 million points. Lam Nguyen praised the Beast Spirit Pill. It's really impressive. I definitely wouldn't have accumulated this much before. He started to ask about the 3 million evolution points. How do you want to distribute them? He raised 2 fingers and explained. Spend 200,000 evolution points to increase the hardness of the armor. Spend 200,000 evolution points to enhance the sharpness of the beast claws. Spend 200,000 evolution points to enhance the sharpness of the teeth. Spend 200,000 evolution points to improve the capabilities of the biological nuclear reactor. After half an hour, Hak Long joyfully said, Congratulations, you've successfully broken through to level 2 Beast King. You have 1,750,000 points left. Lam Nguyen nodded. Even though I didn't evolve to level 3 Beast King, this is still good. Congratulations, you have successfully broken through to the 2nd level of the Beast King. The remaining evolution points are 1,750,000. Lam Nguyen nodded, replying, even though I couldn't evolve to the 3rd level of the Beast King. But this is good enough. You rushed to get up after being here for so long. You should go outside now. Black Dragon completely agrees. That's right. You haven't been back to the dorm all week. You've only slept for 2 or 3 hours more. Lam Nguyen couldn't help but compare. You could definitely call it a monster at this point. After moving to the bedroom, Kim Trak was surprised to see you and exclaimed, Why are you back? Lam Nguyen frowned in confusion. This is the dorm. Why wouldn't I be able to come back? While Kim Trak was tidying up, he scolded your buddy for practicing to the point of losing his mind. Why haven't I seen your face from morning till night? Lam Nguyen interrupted, asking Tong Lam and Triu Min. He slowly said, Triu Min is fighting for the ranking and got beaten up. I came here to get stuff for him. Tong Lam, who was stepping in for Triu Min, had made an agreement with the opponent that they would face off tonight. Right now, he's still training. Hearing this, Lam Yuyen frowned. What happened? Why does Tong Lam need to step in for the ranking battle? Is there some kind of conflict? Kim Trak spoke in a serious tone. A man like Triu Min wouldn't just get into conflicts with others for no reason. It's because that ranking hunter was too much. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a need for Tong Lam to take action like that. Lam Nguyen was surprised. Ranking hunter, you mean he hasn't told you? He couldn't help but sigh. The Ranking Hunters are a group of new students who just formed. They are a faction that uses their strength to fight for rankings, and then they lose to weaker members. They do this to make a profit and manipulate the rankings. This immediately made you exclaim loudly, There's such a thing. Kim Trak continued to analyze. First, it's to let the strong new students in the rankings fight for the highest positions. Then, the organization will actively admit defeat to those weaker members, so the weaker ones can easily get the positions they want. Moreover, to maintain the rankings every week, members have to pay fees to the organization. To get the highest position in the rankings, they have to pay a lot of fees. Lam Nguyen was getting more and more confused. Wait, if that person's strength doesn't match? But they still get a position on the list. Wouldn't they quickly be knocked down by others? Kimtrak frowned in anger. The tyrannical point of them is right here. As long as they pay the fees every week, there will be someone backing them up. If you mess with the people they protect, you'll be attacked back. Trio Min couldn't stand their nonsense, so he challenged them and ended up getting seriously injured. Finally, Lam Uyen nodded, realizing, that's really Trio Min's style. How can the school turn a blind eye to things like this? He smiled and reminded, did you forget that the Demon Beast Academy loves students fighting each other? For things like this, they won't get involved. Lam Uyen thought to himself, the Demon Beast Academy was even more brutal than he imagined. On the contrary, he was starting to like this place more and more. Then he couldn't help but ask, who is the leader of this organization? To establish such an organization, their strength must be considerable. They definitely won't be weak. Kimtrak slowly replied to the founder of the Ranking Hunter, who was none other than the mysterious Oh Huyen Ko. Lam Uyen suddenly froze, looking shocked. Isn't Oh Huyen Ko the top of the team long ranking? Kimtrak's expression turned serious, his tone heavy. Oh Huyen Ko is no longer the one at the top of the ranking. In this group of new students this time, it's truly a gathering of hidden talents. He immediately raised his phone screen. Look at the current ranking. The ranking list was clearly arranged. A wild smile from Huyen-ko briefly appeared. After the team-long ranking was announced on the second day, Oh Huyen-ko established an organization. It's called the Ranking Hunters. Moreover, he gathered many strong individuals, including Tam Tung Lee Tangnam. Kimtrak frowned slightly, his eyes showing unease. Oh Huyen-ko has given them quite a few benefits, right now on that ranking list. Most of them are from that organization. At most, it just doesn't include Vung Lin Ho and So Thin Duk. At this moment, Lam Uyen slowly stroked his chin, his eyes full of calculation. Oh Huyen-ko and Vung Lin Ho are enemies, so it's normal for him not to join. On the contrary, that's So Thin Duk. Previously, he didn't pay much attention to him. What rank is he? The corner of his mouth curled up in a smug smile. You just don't know. He only took 4 days to climb from over 100 to the top. The funniest thing is that many hunters challenged him, but they were just stepping stones for So Thin Duk. This made Oh Huyen-ko very angry. His eyes showed interest. I guess Oh Huyen-ko will admit defeat. Kimtrak spoke confidently. A flash of the battle crossed his mind. Their strengths weren't too different, but So Thin Duk's spirit beast could fly. The poison didn't have any effect at all, completely countering Oh Huyen-ko. He raised an eyebrow, his tone excited. I'll show you their battle video. Now I have to go see Trio Min first, Lam Uyen said decisively. I'll go with you. Transitioning to the hospital room, Trio Min was carefully bandaged all over. Looking a bit surprised, Lam Uyen asked, why are you here? He stepped forward and placed some fruit on the bedside. How are you? He replied cheerfully, I'm fine. Kimtrak's expression turned dissatisfied, raising his voice to question, what do you mean you're fine? If it weren't for those guys poisoning you, how could you be so seriously injured? Trio Min smiled helplessly. It's just that I wasn't strong enough. He slightly pursed his lips, his eyes dimming. By the way, the battle between Tong Lam and that person seems to be happening tonight, right? He nodded decisively, looking heavy. Yes, it's tonight on Channel 7. Min's voice was helpless. I blame myself for this. It's all my fault for involving Tong Lam. If only the team were a bit stronger. Kimtrak anxiously interrupted and reassured. All right, don't get all worked up. You might have to get bandaged again. Lam Uyen lowered his voice calmly and asked, the one fighting Tong Lam tonight. Is it the one who hurt you? Transitioning to nighttime dim light streamed through the window. He excitedly sat in the stands, his eyes full of anticipation for the match on Channel 7. This time, the opponent is named Vian Liet An. Even though his rank is only 25, he's a fighter who doesn't care about rankings. You can see that when he fights against Trio Min. He hasn't even used his full strength yet. I hope Tong Lam can handle it smoothly. You turned to him, your eyes filled with confusion. Speaking of him, it seems like you're not really interested in the rankings. Why aren't you planning to compete for your rank? Kimtrak smirked confidently. I'm not like those geniuses. Competing isn't easy for me. It's a tough challenge. I can only stand on the sidelines for intelligence. Your gaze was filled with confidence, your demeanor resolute. You wouldn't think that my dad has any special care for me, right? No way. I completely rely on my own strength to gather intelligence and then sell it for money. So I've set a goal for myself. I want to become the biggest intelligence dealer in Hua. Lam Nguyen smiled helplessly and sighed softly. It seems that being a rich second generation isn't easy for you, huh? He suddenly fell into deep thought, his heavy gaze looking far away, not hiding anything from you. Actually, I have an older brother who is an extraordinary genius. To avoid danger, he went to Yen Kin Thu Dai. I wholeheartedly want to be his assistant gathering intelligence to help him in the future. You paused to think about Kim Trak's family. Lam Nguyen shook his head helplessly. It's really hard to imagine. I wonder what kind of person your brother is. What could make him end up like this? Kim Trak perked up again, his gaze fixed on the arena. No more talking, the competition is about to start. Liet An stood in the center, looking provocative. You want to replace that useless guy? His eyes carried a hint of murderous intent, a crazy smile on his face. Opposite him, Tong Lam stood tall, indifferent, his eyes filled with intense dissatisfaction. The questioning is because you guys are too much. Liet An waved his arms provocatively, pointing directly at Tong Lam, implying that he was talking about the three guys in the same room. Is that trash getting hurt? That guy has no talent at all, and now he wants someone else to step up for him. Doesn't he find that funny? While he continued to speak gleefully, his fist was gradually tightening. You hunters really have no respect at all. If even the school doesn't manage it, what do we have to be afraid of? Moreover, I heard that you're the top scholar of Mado, right? In my eyes, Liet An's smug expression emphasized each word provocatively. He's just a useless guy like true Min. His fist and hand merged together. His eyes widened in shock at the explosive power he was unleashing. The soul fusion made Liet An falter, his face pale as the world around him shifted. He suddenly felt uneasy sweat pouring down. This is Liet An laughing uncontrollably with a tone of disdain. Your soul fusion, that cute butterfly, has flown away. I'm so scared. His eyes filled with crazy, murderous intent. These sparkling wings, they're perfect for me to tear apart. Liet An suddenly shouted a challenge. The space trembled slightly. The soul fusion summoned the 2T, Vien Ma, with a fierce roar, the footsteps shaking the ground. The atmosphere is heavy as the two spirit beasts face off. The audience erupts in confusion. Everyone's expression is bewildered. Is this really the spirit beast of Tong Lam? It looks so different from its appearance. I heard this is just a support spirit beast. So how can it fight? It doesn't have combat abilities. The spirit beast of Yanli An is a powerful four-armed demon ape. This time Tong Lam is in trouble. Kim Trak turned to look visibly anxious. Yanli An's aura is overwhelming. He definitely has a chance to make it into the top 10. Does Tong Lam have any way to defeat him? Who do you think will win? Lam Nguyen calmly observed the arena. If you still can't see it now, logically, Yanli An has the advantage. The four-armed demon ape rushed forward with terrifying speed. Suddenly, a fist struck the air. The guy froze in midair, stunned. His eyes widened in confusion as he exclaimed, "What the heck?" The seven-colored glass butterfly appeared right behind him. The flashing blades cut across, causing him to stagger back in pain. The four-armed demon ape fell to the ground, its body covered in wounds. The audience was stunned. Lam Nguyen couldn't help but marvel. So this is the growth ability of the seven-colored glass butterfly. Kim Trak smiled proudly. Even with support from a spirit beast, the seven-colored glass butterfly is still a high-level talent. If Yan Lian underestimates his opponent, he will definitely be doomed. The seven-colored glass butterfly hovered in midair, looking arrogant. His eyes ignited with a burning hatred, screaming in rage. Tong Lam's four-armed demon ape leaped forward, looking almost out of control. "You're done for!" His gaze shifted slightly. Sharp energy beams sliced through the air. The four-armed demon ape was immediately hit, blood splattering everywhere. He looked momentarily bewildered. His expression grew perplexed. Is this guy out of his mind? He calmly interrupted. No, he's trying to force Tong Lam towards the edge of the arena. That spot can restrict the space for Tong Lam to attack. On the contrary, he will have the opportunity to strike. The seven-colored glass butterfly suddenly hesitated, looking confused. He had now reached the limit of the arena's barrier. Fighting in the arena is different from fighting in the wild. The limited combat area is a disadvantage for Tong Lam, so Yan Lian wants to shrink the fighting space step by step, weakening Tong Lam's abilities. Kim Trak's expression turned anxious as he exclaimed, "So doesn't that mean Tong Lam will lose?" He unleashed a powerful surge of energy, looking mad. The growth ability of the 7-colored glass butterfly is not just that. Let's see where you can run to. The 4-armed demon ape charged like a whirlwind. Die! The 7-colored glass butterfly's gaze wavered slightly. The surrounding space seemed to freeze unusually quiet. His eyes ignited with flames of dissatisfaction roaring in fury. What? Slow down? He suddenly closed in from behind his tone, resolute. You can't restrict my moves. The 7-colored glass butterfly erupted with powerful energy. You've lost. The 4-armed demon ape immediately gathered his inner strength, laughing excitedly. Although you're a bit stronger than that useless guy, you're still just a nobody. His fists rained down in a relentless barrage. He suddenly paused, his expression turning anxious. This isn't good. It's a divine beast weapon. The 4-armed demon ape immediately unleashed a barrage of sharp arrows. The wall in front was quickly pierced through. The 7-colored glass butterfly fell to the ground, its eyes filled with intense killing intent, looking mad. Now it's my turn to play with you. That stupid guy too, without a doubt, threw a devastating punch. His teeth clenched in delight, blood splattered everywhere. T the demon tossed him far away, taunting him, knowing he could fly. His eyes turned wild, murderous intent flaring up fiercely. So I specially prepared a divine weapon for you. To the demon relentlessly swung a series of punches. How dare that useless guy challenge me? At this moment, his face twisted in pain, his body covered in wounds. Excited laughter echoed, leaving the audience stunned. Kim Track stood up in dissatisfaction. Damn it. Where's the referee? Why hasn't the result of the match been announced yet? How could they let that bastard hit him like that? The breath of the 7-colored spirit beast grew weaker. Damn it, the auxiliary form of the spirit beast is hiding behind. I don't have the talent, so why do I have to rely on others? Remember this lesson today, you fool. Suddenly, a determined voice rang out, Student Liet, and you've won. The referee loudly declared, Student Tong Lam has completely lost the ability to fight. In this match, Liet An is the winner according to the rules. An will take the 18th position of Student Tong Lam on the potential ranking board. The guy stood proudly in the arena, looking down with a challenging gaze. If you still want to challenge me, I'm always ready, but right now, I think you should head to the infirmary. And take care of your useless roommate, too. Li Dan paused when he heard a call from behind. Vung Lin Ho approached with a dissatisfied look. Your group is getting more and more reckless. The look in his eyes was filled with murderous intent, his face serious as he slowly glanced over, warning Lan Ho. This is a personal matter between me and Tong Lam. What does it have to do with you? If you want to fight like this, why not go find Oh Huyen Ko yourself? Lin Ho gritted his teeth, holding back. If you say one more word, do you think I won't tear your mouth apart? Li Dan stood there waving his hands provocatively. Are you threatening me? Unfortunately, on the potential ranking board, someone higher up can't challenge someone lower. His eyes widened in frustration as he glared at him, grinding his teeth in anger. Kim Track was confused when he saw the empty seat beside him. Lum Uyen unexpectedly appeared calm on his face. If that's the case, then let someone lower than me challenge you. He raised an eyebrow in disdain. What trash is this mocking me again? Lum Uyen stood confidently in the arena. I'm Tong Lam's roommate. He pointed directly, warning him with a cold gaze. Ranked 312 on the potential board. Next time I'll challenge you. Lietan immediately laughed with delight, his tone mocking. 312 on the potential board. His face twisted in a crazed expression, grinding his teeth in warning. You want to challenge me. According to the rules, you don't even have the qualifications to challenge me. Lam Muin slowly smirked, appearing nonchalant. Right now, I don't have the qualifications to challenge you, but in 12 days, I will have that qualification. Lit An suddenly paused, deep in thought. His calculating gaze lingered on the ranking of 12 days from now. Every day, he must challenge someone ranked higher to be able to challenge him. Lit An suddenly paused, deep in thought, calculating his ranking after 12 days. Every day, he had to challenge and level up higher to be able to challenge himself. After 12 days, the guy confidently turned around with a provocative stance. If you're that confident, then I'll wait for you for 12 days. But if you disappoint me after that, I'll personally come to you and take you apart piece by piece. You stood there coldly, declaring firmly, just wait and see. Immediately, the two rushed to the arena in panic. Tong Lam's gaze became hazy, his voice trembling. I'm sorry I still lost. Lam Yun calmly reassured him, speaking firmly. Just focus on healing. I'll handle the rest." Then he turned to Tong Lam with sincere eyes. "Thank you for stepping in today." He replied casually to Tong Lam, who had always been dissatisfied with the actions of the Hunter organization. His expression turned serious as he lowered his voice to question. "But you are quite bold. You dared to challenge the Liatin warrior." Lam Uyen's back carried a sense of determination. "If you can't even handle this, then why should I come to the Demon Beast City? Sorry, we need to head to the medical room first." He calmly watched the two helping him leave. "All right." The corner of his mouth slowly lifted, his eyes filled with interest. "This Lam Uyen is worth befriending." Scene change to the school medical room. In the patient room, Kim Track stood in deep thought, his tone heavy. "What you said in the arena today was serious. Why are you still so calm? Do you think I'm joking? Or do you think I can't handle the Liatin warrior?" His gaze carried unease, looking anxious. "So what is your strength now?" Lam Uyen still maintained his calm demeanor. With a determined look, "Just wait 12 days and you'll know." The next day, in arena number 57, Kim Track sat anxiously in the stands. On the arena floor, Tran Hai was dancing around provocatively. "This guy is really too arrogant. Challenging the Leet and warrior and directly surpassing 50 people. Challenging me, Tran Hai, level S, mutated sea serpent beast, level 8, ranked 262. Facing you, I gathered my spirit power. Stop the nonsense and fuse the beast's soul." He decisively fused a sigh, echoed, "You're really an impatient one. Then let's go with your idea, fuse the beast soul." The mutated sea serpent immediately appeared, carrying a strong killing intent. The surrounding space felt heavy as the two divine beasts faced off. Tran Hai slowly crawled forward, his gaze provocative. "Be careful." He quickly wrapped tightly around your soul beast. The mutated sea serpent spoke provocatively. "Are you waiting to be crushed by me?" He suddenly shivered when the whisper of madness echoed. That was a good move. Tran Hai froze, his whole body trembling before the killing intent radiating from Lam Uyen's soul beast. "Too bad your strength is a bit weak. You struggled to stand up to escape the control." The mutated sea serpent was horrified, retreating, trembling all over. "This is the power of a beast king. I'm no match for him." Its claws tightened decisively, making his breath weak. "All right, let's end this." The mutated sea serpent thrashed wildly. "I admit defeat, spare my life." The referee immediately decisively announced the match's end. Lam Uyen wins. The stands erupted with buzzing discussions. "What's going on?" It ended so quickly. That Lam Uyen is a beast king. Fighting against a beast general isn't just a matter of minutes. Kim Track became excited, his eyes filled with interest. "Lam Uyen, you hit it too well." The beast king, Lam Uyen, calmly spoke up. "So do you want to gather information about me?" The corner of his mouth curled up smugly. "No, I think of a way we can make money together. I wonder if you're interested." You hesitated for a moment, your eyes filled with confusion. "What way?" "Right now I'm really short on cash." Kim Track declared loudly, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "The battle yesterday!" "Your affair with Lian Leet has already spread. Almost half the school is paying attention, so your popularity is really high right now. I'm planning to set up a bet to see if you can win in 12 days. He pressed on. "So, what's your current strength? Reveal it so I can prepare better." Lam Uyen leaned in close and whispered, "About level 2 Beast King Peak." Kim Track was startled, stepping back with a horrified expression. "Oh my, doesn't that mean you're stronger than Tong Lam?" This kid was clearly pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. He leaned in closer, his eyes full of excitement. "So, what are your chances of winning all 12 matches?" You pondered deeply. "Maybe around 95% or more. Those ranked outside the top 20 in the long list pose no threat to me." Kim Track smiled contentedly, his tone cheerful. "All right then, after I set up the bet, I'll stake 10 million. If you win it all, we'll split it 60-40. Lam Uyen suddenly paused. "Isn't 60-40 a bit much?" He leaned in closer, looking dangerous. "Of course not. If you want to make money, you're the key factor." You hesitated a little. "I'm switching scenes to the cafeteria number 2 at Mado Beast Academy." At the dining table, Liet An was devouring every dish. He suddenly paused when a suggestive tone rang out. "You've been working hard lately." Liet An looked up, slightly sighing. "What wind blew you here?" Huyen Ko appeared unexpectedly. "I heard that after your match with Tong Lam yesterday, someone said they wanted to challenge you." He continued eating, looking nonchalant. Just a guy ranked outside the top 300. What's there to pay attention to? He slammed his hand on the table, warning seriously. Looks like your information gathering skills are a bit lacking. That guy has already risen to level 262. And I've heard that his strength is at the Beast King level. Leet An froze, exclaiming in shock. Beast King! Huyan Ko's eyes glinted with killing intent as each word dripped with meaning. I have no other intentions, just happened to hear this information. So I thought I'd remind you. He raised an eyebrow, his tone mocking. Even if his strength is at the Beast King level, so what? Don't worry, I'll take care of him. I won't let him cause any trouble for the organization. He decisively turned and left. Then I'll wait for good news from you. Liad An clenched his fist, the killing intent gradually boiling over. Beast King, I want to see just how capable you are. On the third day at noon in the 53rd arena, the scorching sun shone down on the fighting floor. Lam Uyen stood deep in thought. According to Kimtrak's news, this time the opponent was ranked 242. The spirit beast was the famous moon shadow leopard known for its speed. In the stands, Kimtrak quietly watched this kid. He looked full of enthusiasm.